Here's the NASCAR Toyota All-Star Showdown. They've come to Southern California from all across the country. 70 of NASCAR's best, representing 6 different series in 2 divisions. And tonight, 2 big races for $500,000. Starring the Grand National Division of NASCAR, where the Busch North drivers square off against their cross-country rivals in the Winston West. But first, NASCAR's Elite Division. From the Southwest, Midwest, Southeast, and Northwest, 100 laps for the elite drivers. Tonight, what all these drivers have waited a season to compete in, no points, just pride, and $500,000 when all worlds collide in the first ever Toyota All-Star Showdown. Speed Channel welcomes you to America's half-mile super speedway in Irwindale, California, where tonight NASCAR's Grand National and Elite Touring divisions square off in the NASCAR Toyota All-Star Showdown. 2 days of practice, last night's qualifying races, and now the race that each of these 70 drivers has waited a year to compete in. 2 big events, $500,000 on the line. This will star the Grand National Division of NASCAR. Let's meet their champions.
Hi, I'm Scott Lynch from Burley, Idaho, 2003 Winston West champion.
I'm Andy Santier. I'm from Cherryfield, Maine, and I'm the Busch North Series champion.
Mixed results for our champions last night in qualifying. Here's Lynch in the 08 sliding up into the Busch North Series. Mike Stefanik knocking his car out of action. He'll have to come from the back tonight. While Andy Santerre in his qualifying race came from 15th and last to the lead in just 16 laps and then ran off and hid. But first, NASCAR's Elite Division, the top 10 from 4 regional touring series, will square off for 100 laps. Let's meet their champions.
Hi, I'm Jeff Jefferson from Natchez, Washington, and I'm the Northwest Series champion.
I'm Steve Carlson. I'm the Midwest Series champion. I'm from West Salem, Wisconsin.
Augie Vidovich, Lakeside, California. I'm the 2003 Southwest Series champion.
I'm Charlie Bradbury from Chelsea, Alabama, 2003 Kodak Southeast Series champion.
And they come to this beautiful half mile, as challenging a facility as it is grandiose, because the corners here have a progressive banking of 6, 9, and 12 degrees. That means the cars can run lap after lap, 3 abreast, and last night in the qualifying races they did. Hi everybody, and welcome to Irwindale. Mike Joy alongside Phil Parsons, and just the excitement in the pit area at the drivers meeting and all throughout this weekend among these 70 drivers is really contagious.
Mike, they've been excited all year long waiting for this event. They've had so much fun here this weekend. They had 50-lap qualifying races last night. They used them as practice. There are so many changes going on in the garage area. They're trying to work on the cars, trying to make them better to see if they can win this race tonight. It'll be interesting to see how much these changes affect these cars and if they can get up front and win this giant race tonight.
Tonight's race for these drivers, double the distance and with a little flip as well. Just to get here, you had to finish in the top 10 point standings of your respective elite division, or in the top 15 if you're a Grand National Division competitor from Busch North or Winston West. Last night we had the qualifying races, 2 in each division, and that sets the starting lineup for tonight's feature events. 100 lap for the elite drivers, 125 for the Grand Nationals. Let's show you highlights from last night's elite division qualifiers. The action started early, and Phil here, the fast lane, the top lane, so when there's trouble, it'll involve a lot of cars.
Sure does. Everybody runs against the top of the racetrack, so when something happens on the bottom, they slide up top and catch everybody up on the top lane.
Ron Breeze from the Midwest Series prevailed in qualifying race number 1. In race 2, the 03 of Jim Pettit gets against Cecil Chung on the start and goes to the tail end. It didn't matter. He caught Eddie McDonald. He caught the 17 and went on to win over John Lemke with Lee Pack third. Let's have a closer look at NASCAR's brand new for 2003 Elite Division.
NASCAR combined the rules this year. All 4 of these divisions have identical rules. Very similar, identical late model type rules for all the series. 2,900-pound minimum weight with the driver. They're all on Hoosier bias ply tires. These are some of the All-Star alumni that have graduated to the top echelons of NASCAR from these elite divisions.
Let's take a look at where they race. There's very little overlap among these series. In the Southeast, the Kodak cars will be keyed in yellow. The International Truck and Engine Corp Series in white. The Rebestos Brake Series red and the Featherlight Series blue. Those color codings will become important as the evening goes on. Well, let's go down to the starting grid where there's a lot of energy and the drivers are set to go. Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Mike. I have a question for you. Do you have any idea what DeKalb, Illinois is famous for?
Corn and fertilizer.
Well, that's some of it, but other things are Cindy Crawford, Northern Illinois University, and this guy right here, our pole sitter, Ron Breeze Jr. Hey, a 50-lapper last night, that was nothing, but what kind of strategy do you have tonight with a longer race and an inversion at the end?
Well, I'll tell you what, the first part here is for the team. We're going to try and get all our teammates up front so that the Midwest Series can win the deal. The last 25 laps we're going to save and go tooth and nail to win the whole deal.
Okay, all he did was raise this car up just a little bit. He was bottoming out on the cross members. Ron Breeze Jr., your pole sitter. Now let's check in with Speedway Illustrated's Dick Berggren.
Jim Pettit put it on him last night. After it being all the way in the back of the pack, he motored past everybody to the front to win his qualifying race. But today, all those people that you passed last night have had a chance to work on their cars, and a bunch of them think those cars are better than yours. How do you keep that thundering herd back there, Jim?
Well, you know, we got to go out there and do our deal and get a good start, and maybe we'll use a little bit of our dirt strategy and drive this thing in there like a modified, and maybe we can scare them the way they'll stay behind us. But we got a pretty good race car here, and we're going to go forward here, and we're going to put a show on for our buddies out there watching. You know, I got my little dog at home watching for me, little man, and my buddy John Green's taking care of us, filming this thing for us. So we're going to put a show on for this thing and get a good start, and we're going to go to the front and stay there.
All right, good luck to you tonight, Jim Pettit. Mike Joy?
Boy, let's go back to Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Mike. You know, when we start talking about Irwindale Speedway, there's one guy you can't forget about, and that's David Gilliland in the number 11. He has won 3 of the last 4 races here. David, is your car good enough to get to the front, and what's your strategy?
Yes, it is. Our strategy is to go to the front. Our goal here is to win the 75-lap race and also the last 25. So we're here to win it all.
All right, Dick, who else do you think could be a favorite tonight here at Irwindale?
Craig Rodman, no question about it. He was first or second in each of the 4 practice sessions that we had here, but last night the car wasn't just right for him, and as a result, he starts in the unlucky 13th spot, and with a full moon. What do you think? Can you still win this thing?
Well, I think we got a real good shot at winning. I mean, we kind of struggled last night, but we figured out what we needed to do, and, you know, maybe this full moon and stuff might bring out the best in us or something, you know?
Okay, good luck to you. Now let's go to Mike Joy.
Now, what's all this about a team competition? We'll fill you in when we come back. NASCAR's Elite Division is set to roll for their 100-lap season-ending feature. Don't miss it. Speed Channel's coverage of the NASCAR Toyota All-Star Showdown is brought to you by Toyota. Get the feeling. And by High Performance Lucas Oil Products. It's been a beautiful day here in Southern California. About 72 degrees was the high. It's dropped 10 from there. Light breeze of 7 miles per hour. And now the Grand Marshal for the Toyota All-Star Showdown, 3-time NASCAR Winston Cup champion and my Fox colleague, Darrell Waltrip.
I want you to help me. I want you to help me on 3. We're going to get these guys going here. 1, 2, 3. Gentlemen, start your engines!
Last night, 2 qualifying races for each division, 50 green flag laps counted. They lined up in inverse of their point standings, and the way they finished is the way they will start this feature event. 100 laps for the Elite Division. Now, as Ron Breeze mentioned, there's a team competition here too, and a bonus to be paid. In this race, it's at 75 laps. That's when they'll take a 10-minute break before the final 25. And they'll add up the points as if the race was over, and add up all the points of all 10 drivers from each of the 4 series. The series with the highest point total after 75 laps, $2,000 per team. Second place series, $1,000, and then $500 for the rest.
And Mike, $2,000 is big. That buys 3 sets of tires for these guys.
Now the color coding we mentioned. Your regional series will be color coded as you see on the screen. That color applies to the rooftop number on each car and tape on the front air dam and rear spoiler. Let's have a look at the starting lineup for our Elite Division season-ending shootout. From DeKalb, Ron Breeze Jr. in the 01 and Jim Pettit. They were the qualifying race winners, and they will share the front row.
The runner-ups last night, Bernie Lamar and John Lemke. Bernie from the Southwest Series and John from the Midwest Series.
Third place finishers in the 2 qualifying races take up row 3. Stephen Howard from Greer, South Carolina. Jeremy Lepak from Wausau, Wisconsin.
Row 4, fourth place finishers, Ryan Hansen from the Midwest Series and Kevin Prince representing the Southeast Series.
Row 5, there's David Gilliland from Riverside and Eric Franson from West Bend, Wisconsin.
Row 6, Midwest Series, Justin Dirks and Chris Hart from the Northwest Series. Remember, the colors represent the series they belong to.
Row 7, Craig Rodman starting lucky 13th from Bakersfield, and from Blue Ash, Ohio, Jeff Foltz.
Row 8, Steve Carlson, Midwest Series champion, and Brian Hoppy, also from the Midwest Series.
Row 9, from Kennewick, Washington, Jeff Bailey, and from Natchez, Washington, Jeff Jefferson.
Row 10, Gary Lewis, Northwest Series competitor, and Augie Vidovich Jr., Southwest Series champion.
Row 11, the Southeast champ Charlie Bradbury from Chelsea, Alabama, and Eddie Hoffman out of Wheaton, Illinois.
Row 12 on the inside, Tim Schendel, Midwest Series winner this year, and J.R. Patton representing the Southwest Series.
In row 13 from Cleveland, Georgia, Jason Hogan, Cecil Chung out of Spring Hill, Tennessee.
14th row, Johnny Brazier from the Southeast Series, and Steve Boletto representing the Southwest Series.
Row 15, Stephen Howard. Yes, there are 2 Stephen Howards in tonight's race. He's from Roy, Washington. And from Pacific Palisades, Dan Holtz.
Back in row 16 on the inside, race winner Eric Holmes from the Southwest Series and Rick Saran from the Northwest Series.
Row 17, Eddie McKean from Jerome, Idaho, and out of Woodstock, Georgia, Justin Wakefield.
Row 18 from the Southeast Series, A.J. Frank had to go to a backup car, and John Bender from the Northwest Series.
Row 19, Kevin Hamlin, who crashed out early last night from Snohomish, Washington, and from Garden City, Georgia, Dusty Williams.
And in the last row, Jason Jefferson taken out early, Northwest Series race winner, and Joe Benedetti, the Northwest Series also.
Irwindale Speedway, the most magnificent half mile in the nation.
As you mentioned, Mike, the key is the compound banking in the turn. 6 degrees on the bottom to 9 degrees in the middle, 12 degrees on the top, which is the preferred line.
Let's get out of Speedway Illustrated's Dick Berggren.
I have spent the last 3 days in the garage area talking to drivers and crews, and I'm going to tell you what, these guys are so fired up about this event tonight. For most, this is the biggest race in which they have ever participated. Everybody wants to win, and so many of them think they can. Right?
You know, Dick, whenever we talk about the lap 75 bonus being paid, I'm going to bet on the Midwest Challenge Series today. The reason why, Steve Carlson in the number 66, he's a 9-time series champion, and in that same row with him, the number 51 of Brian Hoppy. I think those are 2 guys to watch tonight as they work their way to the front, and I think the Midwest Series will have the most points when we get to lap 75.
You're going to see a couple of fireworks displays tonight. One off the backstretch, and the one on the track will last about 100 laps.
So, well, 75 and then a 10-minute break.
That's right. Then 25 more to settle it. You're riding with Charlie Bradbury. That's the number 78. He will start 21st. From the Kodak Southeast Series, Augie Vidovich carrying an onboard camera, car number 59. From the Southwest, he starts in 20th.
One more lap till this thing is underway, but it's amazing how much optimism there was in the garage area this morning. Like, everybody felt like they knew what they do to their race cars to be extremely competitive and to win this thing tonight.
Do you gun and go? Do you hold something back?
I think you're gonna go. But Jim Pettit, now he said, I want to see before we get to lap 75 where my teammates are, where my Southwest teammates are. So if I would like to, we're gonna have an inversion. We haven't talked about that much. They're actually gonna invert part of the field at the break. So he said, I'm not sure if I want to be leading here, but if we need the points to win that team bonus, I'm gonna stay up front.
75 laps, then a 10-minute break, and then 25 to finish it off. Short track Saturday night style. Glad to have you with us on Speed Channel. Let's go racing. Roslyn Sanchez waves the green flag. And very quickly out front is Pettit. Riding with Vidovich midfield.
Northwest Series champion Jeff Jefferson, the 42 car, right behind him, right in front of him. I'm sorry.
Field double wide most of the way back. Pettit the leader. Ron Breeze is second. They won the 2 heat races last night. 3 wide for about 10th spot. And then they all go 3 wide from that point on back.
Look at Craig Robin, the 2 car, right on the bottom of the racetrack. He has some local knowledge here.
The advantage of the bottom is it's the short way around. The disadvantage, with less banking, you get less of a launch off that corner.
There's Steve Carlson also going to the bottom of the racetrack, making it 3 wide. You know, we speculated last night if the guys from the South that run this race, the Southwest, would have an advantage. They did early on in practice. It looked like some bumping going in the corner there, but early on they had some advantage. But hey, all these series are well represented. These are the best of these kind of races all over the country, and when they came here loaded for bear.
It's acknowledged the groove here is up top, taking advantage of the high banking. If you're going to pass, you drop down, as Carlson in the 66 is doing right now, trying to put the move on Justin Dirks.
It's a battle for the 10th position right there. Carlson now side by side with Craig Robin, the 2 car. Several of the drivers told me in the garage area that we know the top groove is the way to go, but it acted like it got a little bit slick. You saw Craig Robin get sideways. He dirt tracked that thing through that corner.
Some of the drivers mentioned that as the race wears on, the marbles form up toward that top groove, and if enough cars don't run up there, they don't get swept off.
And they run so close to the wall, there's really nowhere for the marbles to go.
Wow, 6th place at stake here. 4 cars under a blanket coming off turn 4. The 87 on the bottom of Kevin Prince. 60 up on top, that's Ryan Hansen. That's the best battle on the racetrack. Up front, though, Ron Breeze Jr. wants the lead from Jim Pettit and starts working the bottom.
I think this answers the question whether these guys are going to lay back or not. These are 2 race winners from last night. They've got 50 good laps of practice. They both won their races, and now they're side by side for the lead.
Ford versus Chevrolet as well. Pettit, one of only 5 Fords in this 40-car field. Breeze settles back in.
Breeze is really good entering the corner there. He was able to gain a car length on our leader Jim Pettit. Remember, the colors identify which series they come from. The roof number will be the coordinating color along with the front and the rear spoiler.
Side by side at 4th spot. Toyota running order at the top of the screen. And still Steve Carlson works the bottom. Now he's got company in the number 11 David Gilliland.
I talked to David right before the race. I said, hey, were you happy with your car last night? He said, well, it wasn't perfect, but all I wanted to do was finish in the top 10 in preparation for tonight, and I was able to finish 5th. So we really think we have a great race car.
For the lead once again, Ron Breeze Jr. from the Midwest Series, taking out after the Southwest Series Jim Pettit.
Ron Breeze trying to make the pass on the inside. He's not quite able to use as much throttle as he would like. He got completely up beside Jim Pettit. Now, tried to do a little slide job. Wasn't quite able to clear him. Looks like Ron's a little bit better down in 1 and 2. You see him, you get up beside him, he can get in the throttle a little bit better off of turn 2 than he can off of turn number 4.
For more on Ron Breeze, Ray Dunlap.
Well, Mike, Ron Breeze really likes to go into the bottom of this racetrack, and part of the reason he told me last night that he just doesn't run any racetracks back home where you try to use the high side of the racetrack. He really likes it down on the bottom. That's what they worked on practice to try to make it there, because he believes that's going to be the only way to make a pass at the end of the night.
Here he comes again. You don't see passes completed here entering the corner. It seems like you have to beat somebody up off the corner.
That's right. You've got to, you want to stay with them through the center of the corner. If you can get in the throttle just a little bit before they do, clear them, move up the racetrack in front of them. That's the way to pass here.
15 laps of 75 in this first segment completed. It's a 100-lap race with a timeout at lap 75.
These guys are running like this is the last lap. Side by side. They've been side by side for a half a dozen laps here at least.
Well, that may play to advantage of John Lemke, Bernie Lamar, and Ryan Hansen, who, along with Steve Carlson, run single file behind the two leaders by about a second. They're the highest placed Midwest drivers, second, third, and fifth. The Northwest Series not faring too well early on here, 15th, 18th, and 21st. The Southeast Series with Howard 10th, Foltz and Bradbury as their three leaders. And the Southwest Series, right now, they're headed for the team prize with Pettit first, Lamar fourth, and McKean seventh.
Right now, it's the Midwest and the Southwest that are doing the best.
Further back, fifth place, Ryan Hansen in the 60. From the Midwest, Steve Carlson makes the pass, but can he complete it? Dick Bergman.
Well, Steve Carlson has motored all the way from the 15th spot to about the 6th spot. That position keeps kind of going back and forth. His problem last night was he just couldn't keep other people off his race car. All four corners of that car were damaged last night. So they did a good bit of work on it today, and despite starting well back in the field, Carlson at number 66 is looking very, very stout this evening.
Back up front, here is Breeze again. He doesn't want Pettit to lead all 75 laps, though he has led the first 20 in his Ford.
It's incredible as much as these guys have gone side by side. I don't think they have touched each other yet. So it's an incredible amount of confidence they have in each other, even though they don't race with each other that much. But no, these are the best drivers in the country, so they know they can run side by side and not worry about the other guy running into them.
The track is so wide. One of the Busch North drivers told me you have a choice of 19 different grooves here. At least that's how many he found last night in the 50-lap qualifying race.
Got some traffic here. Let's see if Ron Breeze can use this car for a pick.
Cars being lapped, we're told, to stay to the inside.
Ron Breeze able to make the pass. Look at Jim Pettit fight back now on the inside of the racetrack.
So Pettit has to go to the bottom for the first time tonight. And Breeze establishes a lead. First lead change of the night comes at 23 laps. Ron Breeze Jr. and Jim Pettit, last night's two qualifying race winners, out in front of the NASCAR Elite Division feature. Welcome back to California. On board Augie Vidovich, who's picked up 4 spots since the start. You see him trailing the 27 of Jeff Bailey. Bailey's car's been loose off the corner, but Vidovich unable to complete the pass. Ron Breeze Jr., your leader. Jim Pettit in second. Steve Carlson, Bernie Lamar, and Ryan Hansen. .33 trying to move up after problems last night. Kevin Hamlin
had quite a bit of damage they had to repair on that car. Jason Jefferson, the 97 car, the red one right behind Kevin, is another car that had quite a bit of damage that had to repair.
Again, note the color coding on the rooftop number, front air dam and rear spoiler to help you follow the series battles. That'll pay off handsomely at lap 75. 3 wide again. Lucas Oil running order, top of the screen. The meat in the sandwich there is 89, Justin Wakefield, as Hamlin tries to gain ground. So tough on the bottom. to move up unless the driver upstairs makes a mistake.
That's exactly right. If the driver gets sideways up there, has to get out of the throttle, then you drive right by him. Justin Wakefield is a rookie in the Southeast Series. His crew chief, Jody Ridley. There's the biggest movers right there, Mike. Look at Steve Carlson, already gained 12 positions in about 35 laps. Gary Bradbury up 8 positions. Dan Holt 7. Tim Schendel and Steve Boleto 6 each.
Yeah, the men behind the wrenches here this weekend. There's some legends like Jody Ridley, who has a Winston Cup win. Scott Hansen, who's won everything there is to win in the Midwest, is here as well.
Jody, a former Winston Cup Rookie of the Year back in the early 80s, driving for Junie Dunleavy.
36 laps complete as you ride with Charlie Bradbury. Working the high line.
They're using 4 or 5 of those 19 grooves that one driver was talking to us about.
'33 Hamlin continues to move up. Now he's alongside Wakefield. Looks like there's room up top.
They better go quick. That's their leader right there, right of your screen. Ron Breeze, the 01 car.
And for the lap over cars, there's nowhere to hide.
There really isn't. But they desperately want to stay on the lead lap, so they do not want to see Ron Breeze in the 01 get by them. That's the 48 of Cecil Chun right there. He now has gone a lap down.
And even with the 10-minute stop at lap 75 and the invert, if you get lapped here, you're lapped down for the night. There's no free pass back around.
That's where you're still going to be a lap down. I guess we really haven't talked that much about the inversion, but they're going to have to draw some sort of a number at the break, and that whatever number is drawn, or there's actually a wheel I think that they're going to spin, that's how many cars they will invert. So the guy that wins this race, like Ron Breeze right now is leading, he doesn't necessarily know where he will restart this race for the last 25 laps.
And all that was said in the drivers meeting was it would not be a full field inversion. Ron Breeze out in front of Jim Pettit. Right?
Hey, Mike, in his career, he's got 4 total victories, but 2 of those came this year at Grundy Speedway and at Lake Geneva. I asked Ron Breeze, I said, is this your favorite race car? Do you run it a lot? He said, of course I do. It's my only race car. I run it at every track we go to. So he's a one-car man, but it's gone to victory lane twice this year. Now let's check in with Dick.
Jim Pettit, who is running right behind Breeze, has been here to Irwindale on 8 separate occasions. He has come close to winning. The best opportunity he ever had, he was leading when the motor failed. Last night, after the race was done, the mechanics got into the car and discovered even though he had won his qualifying event, it had several broken valve springs. Maybe tonight, the motor will go all the way and Pettit will finally win here at Irwindale.
Chevy versus Ford at the front. Ron Breeze from Illinois. Jim Pettit from here in California. Irwindale is just about 10 miles southeast of the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, just outside the city of Los Angeles. As you look at the interval there, it's about 5 miles southeast of the Santa Anita horse track. And it is quite a monument to short track racing. With Bradbury looking back at Jeff Fultz, who has come from 14th and only gained 1 spot. That's how tough this field is.
Jeff Fultz won 6 races in the Southeast Series this year. Charlie Bradbury, we're looking out of his onboard, he was the champion. Won 1 race, a big win out of Super Speedway.
Behind this bunch, for a moment, they were 4 abreast coming off turn 2 back in the pack. No let up and no shortage of side-by-side racing here.
Here comes David Gill in the 11 car. We expected him to be extremely good. Currently right now is being shown in the 6th position.
Ooh, a little bit of scrape there between Bernie Lamar in the 98 and the 60 of Ryan Hansen. And here's Gilliland, who's gone up 1 lane to try and bust through the middle.
Got by Bernie Lamar. Bernie's going to fight back on the inside. As you mentioned, there's really no good place for a lap car to go. That's Cecil Chun right there, the yellow and green and red car. He is a lap car. These guys are having to pass on the inside of the inside. That's the 60 of Ryan Hansen and David Gilliland in the 11.
Right now, the Midwest and Southwest Series doing well at the front, but it's the point count of all 10 drivers from each series that counts for the bonus bucks at lap 75. Caution is out. no clear indication as to what has brought the yellow flag out for the first time tonight at lap 50. And it was a spin by the 74 of Johnny Brazier. And Phil, I'm amazed with the competitiveness of these drivers and as many different racing lanes as there are that we went 50 laps caution free.
That is incredible, really. These guys are doing such a great job here. But again, they're the cream of the crop. They're the best in the country, so it really probably shouldn't be that much of a surprise.
Starter's a busy man holding the cross flags along with the yellow. So officially it's 50 laps, and that's halfway in the Elite Division feature event. Next Friday, the NASCAR Winston Cup Series has its first trip to a progressive bank track, the newly reconfigured Homestead Miami Speedway, and we'll bring you Bud Pole qualifying for the Winston Cup finale next Friday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Speed. Couple of pit stops under caution. The 40 of Rick Saran is in for the second time. Dusty Williams was in, or a little bit of overheating. Kevin Prince has made a pit stop, and you see the 19 of Eddie McKean. And stalled in turn number 4 is Prince, awaiting the wrecker's aid.
Yeah, he's been there a couple laps there. Obviously, must be an ignition problem or something like that.
A little bit of overheating on Dusty Williams, but they put the hood back down, sent him back out. 54 laps complete of 75. Then they'll take a 10-minute break, tweak on these cars, and line them back up for 25 laps.
You're right. Now the caution laps count until the break. After the break, you're going to run 25 green flag laps. Caution flags will not count, but right now they do count.
So a little bit more cleanup, and then we'll go back to green. We'll take a break from Irwindale Speedway and the Toyota All-Star Showdown. Our leader in race 1 is Ron Breeze Jr. from DeKalb, Illinois. ARTCO Rookie of the Year in '94. Finished 3rd in points in the International Truck and Engine Midwest Series this season, with 2 victories and 7 top 5s in 11 starts. It was the ARTCO Rookie of the Year in '94 when they sanctioned this series. It came under the NASCAR banner in 1998. And since then, Breeze has 88 starts and 4 victories.
Been in the top 10 75% of the time, over 75% of the time.
The EWT Incorporated Chevrolet leading Jim Pettit's Baypack Racing Ford. They were the 2 qualifying race winners last night, and one or the other has led every one of the 57 laps so far. Back under green after the first caution of the night.
Lap cars on the inside on the restart. Blue car, the 89, Justin Wakefield. He is 1 lap down.
And look who's fought his way up to 3rd. Steve Carlson, the International Truck Series champion.
Started all the way back in 15th. You know, Mike, there are 10 champions in this series, either past or current champions, Elite Division champions, representing 21 championships.
Dick Bergman.
On the break, we found out that Steve Carlson's car is just a touch free. It's a little bit loose, but as they said in Days of Thunder, loose is fast. So when they get to the 75 lap point, they're not going to change it. They're going to send Carlson back out there with a tail end, wanting to head toward the fence, because it is fast.
A lot of drivers after last night's qualifying races complained their cars were too tight and they were going to loosen them up. Carlson apparently did that and did it well.
Big time
close
right
call.
there. Justin Dirks, the 29 car.
He got up and into the 97 of Jason Jefferson, but kept it off Jefferson sufficiently to avoid a crash. Boy, behind him, they're 3 wide all the way back.
See if we can take a look at what happened to Justin Dirks there. He had a pretty major crash here a couple days ago and had quite a bit of work to do. Got a little contact there with the 97 of Jason Jefferson. Good save.
"12 laps to the break point." Here's Ray.
Hey, Mike. I just wanted to ask Phil what his opinion was as a driver. Where do you want to be on the racetrack as that break is approaching here? I asked Ron Breeze at the top of the show before we went on the air. I said, are you going to try to lead every lap? He said, absolutely. I don't care where they invert me. But I'm wondering, as a driver, Phil, wouldn't it be good to be back, let's say, 4th, 5th, or 6th position with an inversion coming?
Ray, that may be the smart thing to do. I was never very good at sandbagging, so I don't think I was that smart. I think I would try to win the thing if I could.
Plus, you don't know how many they're going to invert.
They may say 1. They may say 2. It depends on what's on that wheel. So I think you got to try to go for it.
Here's the other component. A lot of these drivers know that there are folks in upper divisions of NASCAR watching. Nobody's going to notice the fellow who hangs out in 5th place.
That's exactly right.
Ron Breeze, Jim Pettit, Steve Carlson, class of the field. Ryan Hansen 4th, David Gilliland 5th, Bernie Lamar, John Lemke, Justin Dirks, Stephen Howard, Eric Franson, and this man, Charlie Bradbury, that you're riding with in 11th place. Just ahead of Augie Vidovich, Craig Rodman, Jeff Fultz, Tim Schendel, Jeff Bailey. Lepak, Hoppy, Hoffman, and Holtz are the top 20. 8 more laps. They'll take a break, get to tune on these cars. Now you're on along with Vidovich.
Southwest champion Augie Vidovich looking at the Southeast champion Charlie Bradbury in the Lucas Oil car.
Fourth place, great side-by-side battle as Gilliland shows a lot of strength here with 6 laps to go before the break.
See what he can do in the center of the corner. You see him try to move all the way up as close as he can to Ryan Hansen in the 60. Just about was able to make the pass.
Dick Berggren.
Well, Gilliland is one of the most experienced and successful drivers here in various divisions. He has won at this speedway some 13 times, so he surely knows his way around. He is just a little bit tight. They're going to try to free the car up in the middle of the turn when they get to the break at the 75 lap point.
It is rush hour off turn 2. A gaggle of cars, 3 wide, 4 laps to go, and everybody trying to get what they can get.
Absolutely. Time is now.
Time has run out. Pick a lane, stab and steer.
Multi-grooves, multi-banking. See Augie Vidovich slid up in front of somebody. Brian Hoppy, the 51 car, middle of your screen, the red car.
And the 21 smacking right in the middle of all of it there. Tim Schendel, the black 21. And he's going to squirt through.
Great move there. Really good through the center of the corner.
3 laps. Rodman to the bottom on the 27 of Bailey. Well, they are really stacked up.
Well, they sure are. The nice thing is these guys know at 25 laps what their car was doing. They know they have 25 laps to go after the break, so they know what they need for those 25 laps.
You got to love
contact there.
Well, you got to love technology. There's a lot of smoke from Bailey's 27. Or is he going to save it? No, around he goes in turn 4. Caution is out. I say you got to love technology. Without transponders, this would be a tough place to score. Tough break for Jeff Bailey.
Got a broken Panhard bar. You see the rear end going back and forth.
All the spotters up on the roof trying to steer their drivers clear of trouble.
That got us to lap 75 though, so we're going to have the break here momentarily.
Well, let's have a look and see if Jeff Bailey had any help.
He definitely has a broken Panhard bar right now. We'll see if maybe that's what caused. There was some contact right there. You see his Panhard broke right there when he got together with Jeff Fultz. Could not control it. You see as he goes, the centrifugal force wants the car to go to the right, the rear end housing to go to the left. He almost saved it, but it went back around the other direction.
And he almost took out 3 cars with him.
There's the contact right there with Jeff Fultz, the 54 car, the blue car on the outside. That broke his Panhard rod, which keeps the rear end aligned.
Boy, that didn't look like much of a hit, did it?
Sure did. Just wheel to wheel more than likely, and that was enough. Also cut a tire down.
Well, it's time for the break. We'll total up the points and tell you when we come back which series prevails for the bonus bucks. Welcome back to the Toyota All-Star Showdown, NASCAR's Touring Series. with Ron Breeze taking the lead on lap 24 from Jim Pettit. We're now at lap 75. And now that the red flag has been issued, teams can work on their cars. They could not begin work on their cars until the last car had come into the pits and stopped. So in this 10-minute break, they can do anything they could do on a normal pit stop, change 4 tires if they wish, and get ready for the final 25-lap shootout. Ray?
Hey, let's check in with Ron Breeze. Hey, man, I had to imagine you're just going for tires and fuel. Any kind of chassis change? It sure looks good.
Yeah, we're real good. Unfortunately, I don't think I had the lead with 25 laps in that last segment, so we're going to make a little change just to see if we can make the car better on the short run now.
Looked real good on the bottom side. Is that the way to get to victory lane?
I tell you what, everybody says you got to run high. I don't like it up there. I think I'm going to stay down low.
Okay, let's check in with Dick Berggren.
Steve Carlson has gone from 15th to 3rd. What's it like out there?
Starting out early, it was real good, and then my car started getting loose there towards the end. But this here last part here, we got some nice fresh tires. I think we'd be pretty good.
Where are you best? Top, bottom, middle? Where do you like it?
Middle. That's where I like to run.
All right, with the inversion, how are you going to play the second half of this race?
I'm going for broke, buddy.
Good for you. Good luck, Steve Carlson.
That's the way Carlson ran in 3rd place at 75 laps. You see the clock on the upper left of your screen, and that denotes how much time remains in this break. Gives us time to take one, and then we'll come back and play NASCAR's version of Wheel of Fortune and see how much of this field gets inverted. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series lives on speed, and it's all down to one final race. Brendan Gaughan leads the points. 3 drivers less than 40 points behind. You'll see it all right here Friday, live at 3 p.m. from Homestead Miami Speedway, only on Speed. 39 teams at the ready working on these cars, getting them set for the final 25 laps. Only one car out of the race, Kevin Prince. And now Miss Irwindale Speedway spins the wheel.
All right, turn it loose.
That's
See if you can get it to go this way.
Pat Patterson alongside Lana Kinnear.
All right, it stopped on 4, so we will invert 4 spots for the rest of it. Way to go, Lana.
Thank you very much.
All right, Miss Irwindale making it happen down here, so we'll get ready to go. 4 spots is the invert.
And that gives David Gilliland the pole position for the restart.
I was pulling for spin again. So David Gilliland gets what NBC calls the lucky dog pass, only of a different kind. He finished 4th. He will start 1st. It puts Steve Carlson with him on the front row and moves Breeze and Pettit to row 2 for the restart. Welcome back to Irwindale Speedway as we have a further look at the International Truck and Engine Corporation Midwest Series. Prior to 1988, sanctioned by ARTCO, that came under the NASCAR banner. Steve Carlson, 9-time and defending champion.
They run short tracks. They also run a couple super speedway races. Gateway Speedway in St. Louis they run, and also Pikes Peak in Colorado Springs.
And they are the winners of the team prize, $2,000 per team to the Midwest Series. The Southwest Series, $1,000 to each of the 10 teams. The Southeast and Northwest Series drivers each pick up a $500 bonus, and those are the team standings at 75 laps. So Steve Carlson, Ron Breeze at the front for the Midwest. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the Midwest Series drivers in the top 10.
Pretty dominating performance by the Midwest Series. They won by almost 200 points over the Southwest Series.
Little less than 2 minutes remain in our break for the Elite Division feature. Coming up, 25 green flag lap Saturday night shootout to decide it all. Dave Despain tunes up the wind tunnel beginning Monday through Thursday every week right here on Speed, 9 p.m. He wants your views on the world of auto racing. He'll fire them back at you, and he has great guests too. Wind Tunnel is one of the best shows on Speed, Monday through Thursday nights at 9. Dick Berggren.
Well, Gilliland is going to start on the pole in this race, Mike, and he ran incredibly well, but they threw the kitchen sink at that car on the pit stop. They pulled a spring rubber out of the right front, changed the left rear trailing arm, that controls where the rear end is aligned in the back of the car, and did a bunch of other things to it as well. Gilliland said he is best in the middle of the racetrack. That's where he hopes to run, and let's go to Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Dick. I talked to Jim Pettit. He was saying that his car needed to be freed up just a little bit. He said it was really good getting into the corners, but it wasn't fast enough off the corners to make any kind of a move on Ron Brees. So he said they will make some changes. What they did was they preloaded the front sway bar and made air pressure adjustments on both rear tires. So he's trying to loosen that thing up a little bit. By the way, Jim Pettit will have a birthday on Tuesday. He'll be 39. He said tonight would be an awfully nice present if he were able to get to victory lane.
Sure would. Ron Brees Jr., the leader at lap 75, leading the Midwest Series to the big bonus bucks. Coming up, the only double file restart of the night for the Elite Division cars. Steve Carlson from the Midwest will lead them down to the green flag for the final 25 laps. He was the 87 ASA Rookie of the Year, 88 ARTCO Rookie of the Year. Since 1990, he's not finished lower than second in this series point standings. He's a 9-time champion. And there are his stats. He and Butch Gilliland will lead the field down to the green flag.
93 starts, 85 top 10 finishes. That's fairly consistent.
He's got an extra $2,000 already because the Midwest Series had the highest point total at the end of 75 laps based on their running order. And Chris Hart's going to need a push. Stalled up there in turn 3 as they lined the cars back up. All restarts tonight are single file with the exception of this one, and this is going to be a land rush.
Sure is. Here we've got such good cars up front here. Just like the start of the race, we've got 25 laps to settle it all. No caution laps count, 25 green flag laps, and we will not finish under caution. If something happens on the last lap, there will be a green-white checker to finish this thing.
So I wonder, on that stop at lap 75, do you top off? Because you really don't know how long this is going to take.
I think it's more if you want a little fuel for balance, if you want to get a little rear weight, you put a little fuel in it, and if you think you're close, again, we're only talking about 100 laps, so you're only talking about 50 miles. Okay. These cars should be able to run about 90 to 100 miles, so I don't think they need to fuel as far as for gasoline to finish the race, but they might want the fuel for weight bias.
Dick Bergman.
Ryan Hansen, car number 60, will take the green flag in the 5th position. On the pit stop, they put 4 new tires on the car, and it needed those 4 new tires very badly. Hansen said he killed the front tires early on in the first end of this race, trying to keep up with the pack. He finished well enough to start 5th. He's freed the car up for this 25-lapper. Thinks he's going to win it.
Gilliland on the pole opposite Carlson. And there are the ID codes for the 4 series, so you can follow your drivers through these final 25 laps. David Gilliland was the crew chief when his dad, Butch, won the 1997 Winston West Series championship. Ray?
Mike, I talked to Bernie Lamar during the break there, and he said, man, I would really love to see a 6-car inversion. I said, it's a 4-car. He said, oh, doggone it, that means the 11's up front, right? I said, absolutely. He said, man, we're all in trouble.
Bernie didn't win a race this year, but he had 2 top 5s and 4 top 10s, had 2 victories in 2002.
Well, I think Steve Carlson and Ron Brees and Jim Pettit may have something to say about everyone being in trouble because David Gilliland is starting on the pole.
But is the inside of the front row the place to be? We're about to find out. 25 laps to go for NASCAR's Elite Division. 10 grand to the winner out of the $500,000 purse tonight. Restart, green flag. And Carlson got a good one.
Great start for Steve Carlson. Look at Jim Pettit right on the bottom of the racetrack. 3 wide.
Yeah, Carlson went way up the racetrack in 1 and 2 and lost the lead.
Here goes Jim Pettit right on the bottom of the racetrack. The tires are brand new. He wants to get it while the tires are new.
And he's working the middle. Lost some ground off turn 4. Gilliland has his hands full with Pettit on the inside for the lead.
Great side-by-side battle for the lead. Side-by-side all the way back. It looks like the restart.
That's just what it is. Way down low comes Breeze, and he slides his way up to second spot.
Jim Pettit able to get the lead away from David Gilliland. Looks like David might have slipped there in that corner.
And after 2 laps, the second verse looks much like the first, with Breeze trailing Pettit on the brake. Let's ride along with Bradbury. Charlie Bradbury, 78, and I think that's Vidovich right behind him. It is.
I think they've been together this entire race.
Still side by side for the lead. Breeze says he likes the middle of the racetrack. That's right where he plants his 0-1. Carries Pettit up high just a little bit. They touch.
Rubbing all the way off the corner. They know they don't have long to go here. Ron Breeze is extremely good through the middle of the racetrack. Jim Pettit fights back on the outside.
20 to go. Gilliland third. Carlson trying to hold off the 60 of Ryan Hansen for fourth, along with the 98 of Bernie Lamar and the 29 of Justin Dirks. They are 3 wide behind the leaders, but this is almost too good a battle to leave. There's that race for 5th place. Oh, it's a great one.
Look at Bernie Lamar, the 98 drive right to the bottom. Jumps the car sideways.
Just couldn't get off the corner, Phil.
They're real loose coming off that corner. They're still in the middle of the racetrack. John Lemke, the 17, trying to get by on the inside.
He finished 3rd last night in his qualifying race. Right now he's running 8th.
Might want to mention Ron Breeze was able to take the lead from Jim Pettit.
In the wall, turn 2 is the 42 of Jeff Jefferson, and that'll bring out the caution as he pyrotechnics his way down the backstretch. Might have lost a tire, Phil. Went in hard into turn 1. The car just in 2 just shot up.
The tire is definitely flat right now. We don't know if that happened because of the contact with the wall, but Northwest champion right there, Jeff Jefferson.
Finished 2nd at Phoenix a week ago and came on our trackside show and thought he had a strong shot tonight. Looks like it's not to be.
4-time winner this year on the Northwest Series.
Tough break for the Morgan Transport number 42. Jeff Jefferson had a great season, as you mentioned, as champion of the Ray Vestas Brakes Northwest Series. Came in here as a threat to win. His brother Jason also had a strong finish in that series. And that's the car that's brought out this most recent caution at Irwindale. .82 laps complete in the Elite Division feature of the Toyota All-Star Showdown. Only 2 cars out of the race from the 40 that started, and that includes Jeff Jefferson, who's just taken his car behind the wall. Dick Bergman's there.
And he is out of the car. Jeff, what happened?
Just a rough night all the way around. Just kind of missed it all night, and I just feel bad for my owners, Rick Allison and Jim Morgan, and the crew chief Chuck Crothers, and all the guys who worked so hard all year. You know, you just have one of these nights every once in a while, and we'll rebound, and next year we'll get them.
All right, sorry you're out. Mike?
He'll finish 39th tonight, and that's surely not indicative of the great season that he had.
All right.
So 38 remain, 18 laps to go. Does Jim Pettit or Gilliland or Hansen or Carlson have anything for Ron Breeze?
Take a look at Augie Vidovich right there. He's one of the 3 remaining Elite Series champions and all 3 of those guys are running in the top 10 right now.
As you'd expect.
That's absolutely. That's why they're the champions.
It's Bradbury just ahead, the Southeast champ, right in front of Vidovich. On the restart, Ron Breeze Jr. from the Midwest, Jim Pettit from the Southwest, as is David Gilliland, then Ryan Hansen from the Midwest, along with that series champ Steve Carlson. Bernie Lamar from the Southwest, followed by Justin Dirks from the Midwest, as is John Lemke in the 17. The Southeast Series Charlie Bradbury and Augie Vidovich. Those are your top 10. Then it's the Southeast, Stephen Howard, Tim Schendel, Jeff Foltz, Craig Rodman, Eric Frantz in the top 15. Eric Holmes, Brian Hoppy, Jeremy Lepak, Chris Hart, and Eddie Hoffman the top 20.
Very important to get a good restart here for Ron Breeze.
And Breeze makes a clean getaway. Pettit gets right to his bumper in turn 2, but no further.
Great racing back here. That's Ryan Hansen. He's currently the 4th position. Steve Carlson on the inside of him. That's the 5th.
Charlie Bradbury trying to gain some ground as he goes to the bottom. Just ahead of him, the 29 of Justin Dirks.
It's Bernie Lamar, the 98 on the outside.
3 wide. Now 2. As Lemke comes up the outside, the 17.
He's got 15 laps to go. These guys have to do it now.
They say there's no rush hour like Southern California, and the racetrack is the same as the freeways here. This is wild, right?
Hey, Mike, Ryan Hansen did not get a very good restart that time. I think he may have even missed a shift there. But we do want to send out best wishes to his dad, Butch. His mom, Vicky, is at home with Butch. He just had kidney operation. And this is maybe the first time that they have not been to the racetrack to watch Ryan race. He has done excellent tonight with a good starting position, hung right up there. Of course, Ryan Hansen, good friends with Travis Quapple from the Craftsman Truck Series. But his best finish ever, a 2nd at La Crosse. He has never gone to victory lane.
This is going to be a big top 5 finish for him if he can remain in the top 5 in this running order and get against this field of cars.
It'll be 12 to go this time. And the big battle is at 3rd place, where the 2 black cars of Carlson and Hansen, at 4th place, are side by side.
Steve Carlson, 9-time champion, and Ryan Hansen.
I think when you consider that half of the 40 drivers that started this race had never been here before this week, I think we've got a tremendously competitive event.
A lot of these guys, like Ron Breeze, our leader right now, never having seen this racetrack before, done such a terrific job.
10 to go.
It's a 92, Jason Hogan right there on the inside of Dan Holtz in the 23.
That battle's back at 21st spot, and they're racing there just as hard as they are up front.
Here's Gary Lewis, the 73 car on the outside. Lap car of Justin Wakefield, the 89. The blue car there.
Very much at least a 3-groove racetrack tonight.
Ron Breeze, our leader, has a pretty comfortable margin right now. He's got almost a 2nd right there on Jim Pettit. That's why we're going back and showing some other terrific racing.
8 laps to go. They may catch traffic before this one's over. Still 2 and 3 wide midway through the pack up there in turn 2. There's a bit of it as Dirks and Vidovich fight for 7th place. Dirks in the 29.
Augie not quite able to get on the throttle, use the whole racetrack.
Trouble for Jeff Foltz. Last year's Southeast champ is going to pull in. 6 to go. Great race here for 7th.
Augie started back in the 20th position. Moved his way well into the top 10.
And there's the CNC boiler Chevy of Foltz heading for the house. 5 to go.
Augie's not going to give up here. Still going to try the bottom of the racetrack. I think they may finish this one side by side.
Boy, Dirks just edges ahead in the straightaway. Now he puts Vidovich away. Or does he?
Augie fights back out a great center of the corner right there.
He ain't giving you no room. He's chopping you off places. It's okay, though. You got to be a man about it here. Free to go.
That's Terry Henry, Augie's spotter. 3 laps to go.
What a tremendous performance by Ron Breeze Jr. out of the Midwest Series.
White flag this time. And I don't believe Breeze will get much into the traffic before he sees the checker. But all the way back, the battle's enjoyed. This is for 20th place for the final spot in the top 20 right there. Ron Breeze Jr. is about to get the biggest checkered flag of his career. There it is. He's the Elite Division winner in the Toyota All-Star Showdown. Dan Holtz in the 23 got that hard-fought final spot in the top 20.
I'll tell you, to finish in the top 20 with a field like this is a tremendous accomplishment. But what a great job by Ron Breeze Jr.
We'll be back to meet the winner in Victory Lane at Irwindale, California, live on Speed Channel. Welcome back to the Toyota All-Star Showdown. Well, Cindy Crawford move over. DeKalb, Illinois is now famous for Ron Breeze. Here's Ray in Victory Lane.
Well, Mike, it all started back at Grundy County Speedway. He was a Sportsman Division driver in 1989, but now the biggest night of his life, $12,000 richer. Ron Breeze, congratulations, man. You showed total domination tonight here at Irwindale.
I'll tell you what, we had an awesome car here. The Pinkston Tad, EWT Incorporated, Chevy Monte Carlo was awesome. I can't say it enough. The reason we're in Victory Lane is because of Penske Racing Shocks, left-hander chassis, and T-Zar Racing engines. If you want to go fast, that's a package.
What do you think about that inversion, man? When I saw they put Gilliland up there and there's all those good cars up front, I thought, boy, you're going to have trouble. And then, boom, 1 lap later, you're up front.
I thought that myself, and I tell you what, it's a superb job by the crew. I mean, they gave me an awesome car. It was good in the beginning, but man, it was a great car and a great weekend.
Tell me about what you're going to do the rest of the year. Is it time off, or you got any more racing scheduled?
I don't know. We'd like to go down to Florida and maybe in December, but I don't know what I'm going to do yet. That's kind of up in the air. But I think we're going to take a long time off after this. And so.
You got some tire money now, just in case if you need that to go to the snowball.
That's true. Yep.
Okay, Ron Breeze, your winner here at Irwindale tonight.
Here's the order of finish for NASCAR's Elite Division, and don't go away. The Grand Nationals are coming up next. Ron Breeze from Illinois, Jim Pettit from California, and David Gilliland, Ryan Hansen, Steve Carlson from the Midwest, Bertie Lamar, Justin Dirks, Augie Vidovich, John Lemke, and Charlie Bradbury. So champions finishing 5, 8, and 10.
Tim Schindel from the Midwest leads the second group of 10 in the 11th position. Midwest guys won the championship. They've got to $2,000 each to add to their winnings.
A nice job by A.J. Frank to finish in the top 20 after tearing that car up pretty badly last night. They had to put a partial clip on it today.
There's Jason Jefferson, Kevin Hamlin, and Johnny Brazier on the bottom.
And the rest of our 40-car field, 36 of whom were running at the checkered flag. We'll be back with more and get you ready for the Grand National Division feature event. Welcome back to Irwindale, California. The Toyota All-Star Showdown is in its changeover mode from NASCAR's Elite Division to the Grand National Division. But first, let's follow up on the second place finisher in our 100-lapper. Dick Berggren.
The Featherlight Southwest Series, Jim Pettit started second, finished second. You got a half smile on your face. Is second okay tonight?
Oh, absolutely. We're the second best car in the country, I guess. He just got off a little better than us, and we're happy with what we got. My crew chief, Dwayne Sharpie, did a hell of a job for us, and we got to thank my car owner, Jesse Roach, for giving us the opportunity to do this, and we just want to thank Toyota for putting this show on for us, and my mom and dad and my wife for supporting me for all the years they have. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this sure wish we can get a sponsor, so hopefully we can continue this deal. And we just have to go forward from that. This thing, she's pretty good tonight, though.
Well, you may not have a sponsor, but you got a big donut on the driver's door. How intense was it out there, Jim?
There's definitely was some rubbing and loving going on out there, that's for sure. But that's part of it, you know. You got the 40 best in the country here really shooting her out down there, you know. And hopefully, you know, one of my other buddies in the Irwindale posse, they call us, he couldn't make it here. He had a real rough year, Doug. Hey, you know, at least I held it up for us, man. Got a second at least, so. You know, we tried, and this is the best in the country. Second's nothing to hang our heads low about.
Jim Pettit gave us a great side-by-side show for a lot of those early laps, Mike Joy.
Well, he had a night to remember. Jim Pettit finishes second in the elite division of our All-Star Showdown. Grand Nationals next. Victory Lane, still a busy place from our elite division 100 lap finale. Let's get down and meet the third place finisher. Here's Ray.
Well, that'll be David Gilliland here. And David, I'll tell you what, whenever that inversion started, I was pretty sure that you were going to be the man to beat. What was the deal with your race car?
We're just still a little bit tight. We fought being tight all weekend here, and we made some good strides at it. But tonight we had a third place car. So to come home third, this was a real tough race. There was a lot of great competitors. We kept it clean, and we're happy with third.
When I got ready to come out here, I was pretty sure that the Southwest Tour and the Winston West guys were going to dominate. Were you surprised at how good the Midwest guys were here this weekend?
Yeah, we knew they were going to be tough. You know, that's a tough group of racers. I was hoping the Southwest guys would do a little bit better, but me and Jimmy, we did good, and Bernie Lamar did good. So it was a good night for us. All in all, the Southwest Tour, all the competitors are a great bunch of people and good, hard racers. So we're happy.
Okay, congratulations. It was certainly a very clean race here tonight, guys, and that just goes to show about what great talent there was in this field.
Really was. It went the first 50 laps caution-free.
Absolutely, with 40 cars on a half-mile racetrack, too.
And as you see by those colored chiclets on the right, the Midwest and Southwest Series dominated here tonight, taking 9 of the top 10 positions. Congratulations to Ron Breeze, who is our Elite Division Toyota All-Star Showdown champion.
Chris Hart back in 15th. He was the leading Northwest competitor. Charlie Bradbury finished 10th. He was a leading Southeast competitor.
Quick look down through the rest of the finishers as the track transitions and pit road changes over from the Elite Division teams to the Grand National Division. Busch North and Winston West. There's the team prize, 20 grand to the Midwest teams, divided equally among the 10 teams, 2,000 apiece. Ron Breeze Jr. wins it all, $12,000 here at Irwindale tonight. We'll be back with our Grand National Division 125 lap feature. Welcome back to California's half-mile super speedway, Irwindale, where the NASCAR Grand National Division will race 125 laps in their half of the Toyota All-Star Showdown. Let's have a closer look at the Grand National Division. They had a lot of work to do, Phil, to get to rules commonality.
They sure did. The Busch North guys had a pretty significant engine change to go to the 12-to-1 compression engine with the small 390 carburetor. The Winston West guys are going to phase in the 105-inch wheelbase cars that the Busch North competitors have run for a number of years, both on Goodyear bi-supply tires. There's some of the All-Star alumni from the two divisions.
And they're coast to coast. There is no commonality between the Busch North Series, which will carry blue identification, and the Winston West Series, which we will show in red on the car numbers, air dams, and spoilers.
There's probably 2,500 miles in between the closest race for each one.
This rules commonality is part of a dream that Brian France had. He's now NASCAR's CEO, but when he was running the Touring Series, he said, wouldn't it be great if we could create levels and get the rules on the same page and have a runoff? Not so much to determine a national champion for each of these levels, but to have a showdown champion. Toyota, who enters the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series next year after a long successful run in Goody's Dash, bought into the concept, and they are here as title sponsor and proud to be a part of this as well. Last night, 2 very different qualifying races for the Grand National Division. Let's show you some highlights.
Happens to start of the first race to Austin Cameron on the pole. There's Scott Lynch, Winston West champion, makes contact with Mike Stefanik from the Busch North Series. Joey McCarthy out of the Busch North Series passes Brian Chu to 0-9 for the lead, and Joey McCarthy wins the first qualifying race.
To the surprise of the crowd here, two fellas they've never seen before, whipping up on the Winston West hometown boys. In race 2, watch that number 6 of Andy Santerre. He started 15th. In 5 laps, he was up to 8th. In 16 laps, he got past Mike Olson, and it was see you later.
He actually tried some different lines and things at the end of the race. So Andy Santerre is definitely the odds-on favorite tonight.
Darrell Waltrip signing autographs for the fans and some for the drivers as well. Pretty neat to have a 3-time Winston Cup champ come to put his stamp on your all-star event. And we'll hear from Darrell shortly. We'll be right back. Andy Santerre is the 2-time champion of the NASCAR Busch North Series, 2002 and 2003. Over those 2 seasons, he won 6 races, had 22 top 5s and 27 top 10s, and last night ran the table in his 50-lap qualifying race. So he will be the man to beat. Santerre was also fastest in practice. There's his Busch North career stats. He was also NASCAR Busch Series Rookie of the Year 1998 and had a victory at Pikes Peak Speedway after coming back from a very hard crash at, I think, Atlanta that knocked him out for a couple of months.
Daytona, he broke his leg extremely bad at Daytona on the backstretch.
There's the Aubuchon Hardware Chevrolet of Santerre. A little good luck charm.
Got somebody riding with him there.
Andy and Sue have a 6-month-old, their first child. And he commutes from Concord, North Carolina up to the Northeast now to run in the Busch North Series.
He's done that for a couple years now, so he's not a stranger to long road trips.
And here is Dick Berggren
with Andy Santerre. Well, you stunk the show up pretty good last night. Just absolutely put one on everybody. But, I mean, they've had a whole day, Andy, to fix these cars, make them faster. What do you think? How fast are you going to be tonight?
Well, we didn't do a thing to this Aubuchon Brick Mill Castle Chevy. It's running real good, as you saw last night. We decided to leave it alone. The weather's about the same. Car was great in the 50-lapper, so, you know, I'm sure the guys have made some improvements. I was hoping that after that performance, they'd go home, work on them a little more, and get them slower, but you never know until we get out here, you know. But we got a great car. I think we got a top 5 car no matter what, and that last 25 is what pays the money, so we may just get in line, see what we can do the first 100. We'll run hard, but that last 25 is what we're shooting for.
And you've got an inversion before that last 25. So do you go out and try to win this thing? Do you hold back a little bit? What do you do?
I haven't seen anybody holding back since we've been here at Irwindale, so should be real interesting. I think everybody wants to win. It's the prestige, and you know, everybody's here for one thing, that's to win the race. And you know, anything you can win out here is pretty good. You're with a lot of tough guys from the Busch North and the Winston West, and just want to say thanks to Toyota for having us out here in NASCAR for all they've done for us.
Good luck to you tonight, Andy. Ray Dunlap.
Well, thanks, Dick. You know, earlier this year at Holland Speedway, Joey McCarthy got his first career victory in Busch North Series racing. Joey, a little different situation here tonight. A pretty tough field out here. How do you approach this race this evening at Irwindale?
Well, first of all, I want to thank my sponsor, Trust Company Bank out of New Jersey, for supporting us all season. We've had a great season. This entire JT Massey team's been great to me. So, really, Andy's going to be a tough customer. I'm worried about him probably more than anybody. But hopefully we'll have a good enough car we keep up with him and give him something at the end.
Any kind of strategy for this evening as far as what you're going to do to the race car, or how hard you run it, how early on do you go hard?
Well, I definitely want to keep the fenders on it, and since they're inverting the field, it's not all that important to be up front, but usually that's where the clean track is. So I'd like to stay up as close as I can and make sure we keep our eye on everybody that's quick, and then give them a shot at the end.
Okay, good luck. Joey McCarthy in the number 22 starts on the pole. Dick?
Mark Reed has the best starting position of any of the Winston West drivers. You've got a bunch of guys from Busch North up in front of you. How do you beat them?
We just got to stick to our game plan. You know, we got to keep the car rotating in the center. We got to get off strong and try to get a real good start. You know, the Busch North guys are tough. This is our home track. You know, the Royal Bath and Body Pontiac has what it takes to win, so we just got to show them that we're just as good as they are.
What line are you best in? Top, bottom, middle? Where do you want to run?
We need to run up top, but we can go low when we need to. Save the tires. Got to be in the top. Looks like top 4 for the invert, and then that's for all the money. 25 to go.
All right, good luck. Keep the fenders on it, my friend. Ray?
Hey, Dick, all the way back here in 19th position is Scott Lynch. What in the world are you doing back here in the back of the pack?
Oh, we had a little problem earlier on with the Yerf Dog Orleans Dodge. Just hopefully we can be patient here, just work our way to the front. Dodge is giving me a great opportunity, so is with Yerf Dog and the Orleans race team.
Tell me about last night. I know it was a little tricky situation there, and how much work did you have to do to get this thing good enough to run back to the front?
Yeah, I kind of thought we might have had a broken locker, and it ended up to being that's what it was. And we ended up tearing up the right side there a little bit. It was just a little bit more cosmetic than actually chassis. So I just banged her out, and hopefully we can just keep her going to the front. Kevin Coyer built us a great motor, and we'll have plenty of power to get there.
Championship's in the bag for you this year, but Brendan Gaughan, your boss, has been awfully good at this racetrack. To give you any advice on how to get to the front?
Oh yeah, he always says to go to the outside, stay high. So I'll do what I can, but you got to pass down low here, and I just want to wish him the best of luck in doing his truck deal in Homestead.
Okay, absolutely. This is Scott Lynch. He'll also be racing in the truck race down in Homestead. But tonight, mission is try to go to the front from all the way back in 19th starting spot.
Well, the graphic on the side of his helmet said, "Why be normal?" And normal is not going to get you to the front. We are set for the Grand National 125 lap feature. The Grand National division is ready to go. 30 cars, 15 from each series, lined up in the way they finished their qualifying races last night. They will go 125 laps, and they will have a mandatory stop at lap 100. You can pit earlier if you wish, but everybody will be in at lap 100. And that's when we'll score the points and award the bonus money. The series, with their 15 drivers posting more points than the other, will get $2 grand per team and $1,000 per team for the runner-up series. That's how the bonus works. And we are set to go. Busch North in Busch Beer Blue, Winston West in Winston Red.
Again, the numbers on the roof and also on the front and the rear spoilers.
Drivers are set. NASCAR officials have indicated that they've checked every driver to make sure their head and neck restraint is properly attached, and so is their steering wheel. So the next voice you hear will be that of the 3-time Winston Cup champion, Fox commentator Darrell Waltrip.
All right, everybody, help me out here. 1, 2, 3. Drivers, start your engines!
All right, Darrell Waltrip gives you that man DW, thank you.
And you did the fireworks.
And the command goes to driver start your engines because it's 29 men and 1 woman, Carrie Heath. And they'll be ready to roll when we come back to Irwindale, California. Welcome back to the Toyota All-Star Showdown at Irwindale Speedway. The Toyota Tundra safety truck has the field in tow as we are set for 125 laps. Joey McCarthy from New Jersey on the front row, along with Andy Santerre from Cherryfield, Maine. They won the 2 qualifying races last night to the surprise of the crowd and many of the Winston West competitors. Here's Dick Berggren.
Speedway is a regular for all the Winston West guys. Winston West regularly runs here at Irwindale, so it was a big surprise when the guys from the Busch North Series, from the Northeast, ran as strong as they did last night. They really dominated the action in qualifying. But those Winston West guys have been wandering around in the garage area today, looking, checking out, trying to figure out what the guys from the North had come up with. And they've tweaked their cars and adjusted them, and they're mad. They want to make something happen here tonight. Let's keep an eye on those Winston West guys and see if, in fact, they do. Ray Dunlap.
Hey, Dick, here's one of the things they found. They found that most of the Winston West guys have a Ford 9-inch rear end. But check this out right here. This is a quick change rear end. What this allows you to do is to pull the cover off and actually change the gears there. But this gear set right here is about 30 pounds lighter than what it would be with a Ford 9-inch rear end. And with not having a cooler and all the lines in there, it really ends up allowing you to put a lot more weight into the frame rails. And that's why a lot of these Busch North cars have more lead in them, and you can put the weight where you want it. The Winston West guys have figured out maybe a quick change is a good idea.
Thanks, Ray. 7 of the first 8 starters are Busch North drivers. McCarthy from New Jersey and Santerre from Maine, the front row.
Row 2, Brian Chu from North and Mike Olson, also from the North Series.
Row 3, Mark Reed from Bakersfield and Ryan Moore, the outstanding rookie from Maine.
Row 4, Eddie McDonald from the Busch North Series and Kelly Moore, yet another Busch North competitor.
Back to row 5, Steve Portengay from Sparks, Nevada and Lamont, Mike Duncan.
Row number 6 on the inside, Brett Thompson, Winston West Series, and Johnny Borneman, also from the Winston West Series.
Row 7, Austin Cameron from El Cajon. What a great story there. They call him Amazing Austin. We'll explain why later. Dale Quarterly from Westfield, Mass.
Row number 8, Matt Kovaluk from Connecticut and Jim Engelbright from California.
Row 9, Brian Hoare from Williston, Vermont. And from Salisbury, Mass, Mike Johnson.
Back in row 10, Winston West champion Scott Lynch on the inside and Carrie Heath, the only female in the field, on the outside.
Row 11, Jack Sellers from Sacramento, the oldest driver in the field, and David Eshelman from Fontana.
Row 12, Mike Stefanik, former Busch North and modified champion, and Kevin Richards on the outside from the Winston West Series.
Row 13 is Anaheim's Jeff Davis and Mark Durgan from Lynn, Massachusetts.
Row 14, Barney McRae from Vermont and Winston West driver Bobby Hillis Jr. on the outside.
And the final row, Scott Gaylord from Colorado went just 1 lap in his qualifying race, and Gene Woods in the number 7, who had trouble early, and his car has been pushed behind the wall already. So it looks like Woods will not take the green. 1 lap and we'll go racing. That's Andy Santerre's pit. Barney McRae way back in the field in number 5. If you didn't have Barney in the Busch North Series, you'd have to invent him. He sat in the drivers meeting with a little snapshot camera, took pictures of everybody and everything. He's just out here having the time of his life.
Everybody just shook their head.
He's living the dream. And here we go. Lights are off on the Tundra pace truck. It makes the hard left turn to the infield. McCarthy inside, Santerre in what has become the preferred lane here on the outside.
We've seen a lot of passing tonight, a lot of it done on the inside of the racetrack.
Green flag for 125 laps with a break after 100. McCarthy takes Andy up high and takes the lead.
Good jump by Joey McCarthy. Drove down into turn number 1. Remember, these guys have brand new tires on. They're not quite up to operating temperature. Steve Portgear already on the bottom of the racetrack.
Mark Reed coming hard against Brian Chu and Andy Santerre. Reed wants to take it all the way to first. Gets as far as second. Can he hold it? Mark Reed hunting on the bottom, slides up in front of Chu. He's got to second place.
How about that? And Andy Santerre, we almost gave him the race. He's back and forth. Look at young Ryan Moore, the youngest driver in the field, side by side with Andy Santerre for the 4th position.
You're on board with Santerre. That's Moore to the inside. His dad Kelly in this race and the leading money winner in Busch North history. Kelly Moore in reverse of his son's car, number 47.
Extremely talented young driver, Ryan Moore. This is his first Busch North season. Had a great season. Ran third a couple times. Look at the damage on David Eshelman's number 11 car.
Yeah, there was a big dust up in the back of the field that separated them from the front half. Here's what happened on lap 2.
It's Kevin Richards, the 85 car on the inside, made contact with David Eshelman. And there's Jack Sellers, the 15 car. Look at Kevin Richards completely sideways.
Boy, it's a good thing Sellers was there to straighten him out.
This onboard, here's Kevin Richards. Watch the contact right there. Whoa. And these guys kept him straight.
Jeff Davis up in smoke.
We got right off the racetrack down below the white line, so that probably will not bring out a caution flag.
And here comes Mike Olson battling Ryan Moore just behind this lead pack. Olson has come up for 5th place, and now Moore goes right back after him.
See Andy Santerre, they're taking a look at his Aubuchon Chevrolets on the inside of Brian Chu.
Outside. Outside.
2 and 3 wide racing all over this racetrack.
You don't have to go too far back behind them to find them 3 wide for 9th place. There's the battle. Brian Hoare on the bottom of the racetrack in that red 45. Right in the middle, he's got Steve Portengay. And way up on the top side is Johnny Borneman's number 8, which Kevin Cram and crew had to completely rebuild after a practice crash earlier this week.
Looked like Steve Portengay wanted to jump in the throttle. Just as he was getting ready to get in the throttle, the car pushed up to the outside. Take a look at Mike Duncan there. Won the last time out at Bakersfield, California. 3 wide once again.
Borneman right with him, right behind. Here's Ray.
Mike, when we look at that 45 car, it says Goss Dodge on the side. That's his sponsor, but the car is actually a Chevrolet. I don't know for sure whether you call it a Dodge Monte Carlo or a Chevy Intrepid, whatever, but Brian Hoare will have a real Dodge next year. But I asked him before the race, are you going to be able to use the bottom? He said, yeah, it worked in the Tour race. We're going to give it a try.
Yeah, he's got Borneman lower than he is, though, right now. Johnny Borneman's number 8, trying to get under Brian Hoare, and Hoare goes right down to the white line.
See Steve Portengay finally able to make the pass on Mike Duncan. Look at Austin Cameron, middle of the racetrack. Caution flag is out.
Debris up in turn 2 puts us under the caution flag.
Looks like a brake duct right there, right on the outside of the racetrack.
And caution is out at lap 11. Wow. I'm about to lose my voice. This is exciting. Joey McCarthy leads Andy Santerre, Mark Reed, and Brian Chu. Tomorrow night at 7 Eastern, get all your NASCAR news on Speed News NASCAR Edition. Then it's Speed News Sunday at 7:30, and at 8 o'clock, John Roberts hosts NASCAR Victory Lane to recap all the action from Winston Cup and Busch Series racing at the Rock. You know, the big talk in the garage area today among the Busch North drivers was the great run by Martin Truex in yesterday's NASCAR Busch Series race, or today's NASCAR Busch Series race at Rockingham. 2nd place finish. He's one of them. They're all pretty happy for him.
Absolutely. We talked about graduates from the Grand National Division. He's certainly one of them. Driving for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Teresa Earnhardt had a terrific 2nd place run at Rockingham today in the Busch race to Jamie McMurray.
Let's check with Dick Berggren. We had a couple of pit stops.
Well, this is a heavy braking racetrack, and we're going to be watching Andy Santerre currently in 2nd spot in that number 6 car, because last night he about wore his brakes out. And last night's qualifying race was just a 50-lapper. He had to put new pads on the car, didn't have anything that would quite fit here at the racetrack, so they wound up having to take the pads, which are slightly used, off his backup car and put them on. Brake rotors already beginning to glow cherry red. Nobody leaned on him harder than Santerre. Will he have enough brakes tonight to go the entire 100 laps before we get to the break, if you know what I mean?
Thanks, Dick. Jim Engelbright made a pit stop for a chassis change, as did Brett Thompson. When we come back, we'll talk to the Grand Marshal of the Toyota All-Star Showdown, a young short track graduate himself. Welcome back to Irwindale, where Darrell Waltrip joins us as Grand Marshal of this event. What a fun night this is.
I tell you, Mike, the racing has just been incredible. This racetrack really accommodates just short track racing like I've never seen before. 3, 4 wide. You can tell, though, this is the cream of the crop right here, because they are really racing clean.
Have you ever seen a place like this, Darrell? It's a 3-groove racetrack, lap after lap after lap.
No, I mean, that first race when they're running side by side, the 03 and the 01 there, just running lap after lap that way, and 4 wide, and not getting into each other. That's what really just amazed me.
Darrell, it reminds me a little bit of IRP, except it's a little more racy than IRP, but IRP where the main groove is the top of the racetrack.
Yeah, it does a lot, Phil. You're right. This place seems to have a lot more grip, though, and that high groove here definitely is the way to go. But if you get hooked up, you can hang your bottom, you can get under somebody, makes for exciting racing.
Mark Reed in the number 3, holding second. Andy Santerre and Brian Chu trying to take it away. 3 wide, a little further back. Brian Hoare, that's Borneman in the middle, and the 9 of Mike Duncan up on the top side.
Yeah, you know, Mike, here we always get excited about 3 wide. Here it's just kind of commonplace. You know, they're 3 wide all the time.
When it gets 4 wide, then we get excited.
Yeah, that's right.
It's kind of like a mini Michigan. If you look at it that way.
I was the start of that first race just blew me away. I was on the edge of my seat. Matter of fact, I wasn't even sitting in my seat. It was so exciting. They got a little more strung out in this race.
Have you ever seen a short track like this place?
No, I haven't. It's first class. Great grandstands. You know, got suites. Oh, we got a car around. Oh, big time.
Oh, Scott Lynch. 2 tough nights in a row for the Winston West champion.
And you know, some of the guys that race here all the time, Scott being one of them. I saw one over at Phoenix here not too long ago, and he runs really well here. But they really, some of these local guys have struggled against this competition from up in the East.
I think it's been such a big surprise that the Busch North guys were as good as they were here. They had 7 of the top 8 positions last night.
Yeah, I'm sure that they wasn't expecting that. The local guys wouldn't.
Let's see what happened to Scott Lynch, the Winston West champion.
That's a big hit.
Made some contact right to the right of your screen there.
Ooh, oh baby, got turned right into the. It's the where they bring the pit carts and all out of the garage.
Let's take another look from Kevin Richards on board there. He's already made contact with the outside wall. Whoa, barely got by on the outside. A little body English.
That's right.
I'm not positive. Might have been Matt Koboluk.
That would look like Matt Koboluk. They were
Lynch.
kind of ran out of room there at the end of the backstretch and turned Scott right into the outside wall.
So you've had half a season off while we've been fiddling around with Speed Channel here. What have you been up to?
Well, not a whole lot. Working on our truck team. You know, me and Bobby Kennedy are trying to get that put together. We got Cranifus's old shop that we moved into, and hiring people and buying parts and pieces and getting ready for next year. It's going to be exciting.
You got a driver yet?
I think we do.
Or are you here shopping?
I think we found someone that we're going to be real happy with. We'll know Monday if we got our driver or not, and then we can start working from there. The test next Monday after Homestead, a week from this coming Monday. Got an open test down at Homestead, and then I got a test at Talladega and one at Lakeland, I think. So we got a lot of testing coming up.
So much for the offseason. Good thing Scott Lynch is okay. He walks away from a hard hit in the back straightaway. Joey McCarthy leads the way. 26 laps complete. We'll run 100. We'll take a break and finish it off with 25 more.
Y'all know all this.
Scott Lynch's Yerf Dog Dodge gets hauled off. The Winston West champ's going to be out of this one early. What's a Yerf Dog?
It is a go-kart. And Yerf Dogs is Godfrey, which is the founder of Yerf Dogs, spelled backwards.
Man, I'm glad you knew. I watched that car win Phoenix, you know, a couple weeks ago, and I wondered all day long, what is a Yerf Dog anyway? It's got to be something that I never heard of it. So glad you know that stuff.
Recreational go-kart.
Recreational go-kart. Yep. Cool.
Next year, Darrell.
Something you and I could do.
That's right. Next year, you're not going to have time for any go-karting or golf karting.
Well,
between NASCAR on Fox and this brand new truck team and taking on a brand new manufacturer in the series, you got a little mountain to climb.
Yeah, we do, but it's really exciting. I mean, Toyota's entry into the truck series, Mike, I believe is going to be a good thing for the truck series. It's bringing another player in. It's bringing another group of people with new ideas, new marketing strategies, you know, things that I think will pump the truck series up. And I've always been a big believer in that series. And my truck almost won the championship in '97 with Rich Bickle. And so we're going to have the number 17 truck back out there again next year, running the full season. And I'm going to get to run 3 races in the number 11 truck. And we're going to have a lot of fun.
Oh, that's going to be great.
It's going to look a lot like that truck right there, as a matter of fact. That thing's going to look good, though. I'm going to tighten that red up a little bit, though, and make it a little more look like flames, I believe.
Going to have flames.
Got to have flames on DW's truck. You know that.
Good to have you out here for this. It's just such a fun event for these drivers. I mean, it's their Daytona, if you will.
Well, that was another thing that I really liked. Toyota's got a plan here where this is like the Winston almost for this division, for these guys that are Saturday night racers. It's a chance to run for a lot of money. They brought them out here early. They've shown them great hospitality. They had a fan walk. They've done all kinds of things all weekend long here. And what the plan is to make this like an annual event. And I guess it'll be here again next year, but there's a possibility they can move it around. So it's a really neat idea and a great program, and it's going to pump a lot of excitement into this series.
And I know I saw you signing autographs for drivers, not just for fans. That's pretty cool.
Well, some of these guys, some of them they saw me race, and several of them out there I've raced with. So this is not a bunch of strangers to me. Coming out here to California, I used to race the Winston West race at Phoenix with my Camaro, and Portengay and some of those guys were always over there. And of course, Andy Santerre's a good friend, that I've known for a long time. A lot of the North drivers are out here. So yeah, I feel like I've shook hands with just about everybody here.
You used to do a lot of racing other than Winston Cup racing. You ran a lot of ASA, and you ran probably some Art Go back against some of these guys in the Midwest. You did a lot of racing during your career.
Yeah, I used to love to go up, Salem, Indiana, and of course all in Wisconsin. And again, I had my Frings Camaro, and I used to race 3 or 4 nights a week. That's the only way you can make a living. Had to race everywhere you could, as often as you could.
We're 31 laps complete. Darrell Waltrip has joined us, and Joey McCarthy leads Andy Santerre. And we'll be back to the Toyota All-Star Showdown at Irwindale, California. NASCAR's Winston West Series has been a breeding ground for future stars in the Busch, in the Craftsman truck, and in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series for many, many years. The action is fast and furious, and especially in a place like here in Irwindale, where there's 3 wide racing as routine. Here's Dick Berggren.
And speaking of Winston West, the guy that's running in second spot, Mark Reed from Bakersfield, California, is a Winston West driver. Car just a little bit tight, Mike. That's something they've been working on here all weekend. They took bite out of it for this race, added some stagger. They trying to get the car to go a little bit more loose in the corner. The plan, stay in the top 5. He's doing that and then some as we get ready for the green flag.
Green back out, 34 laps complete. They will race to 100 and take a break, and instantly from 3rd spot.
Boy, Austin Cameron, I'll tell you also, Austin Cameron got a whale of a start there too, back there in that 16 car.
Get a jump and get to the bottom.
Oh yeah, he got to the outside and really got by a bunch of cars in a hurry.
See Andy Santerre got a 3-way battle for the lead here. Mark Reed looking on the inside of Joey McCarthy.
Well, Andy was so good here last night. Gosh, he just, as we say, stunk up the show. I was kind of wonder if he's just holding back a little bit, Phil.
Darrell, we've run 36 laps now, coming down to complete 37.
Turn 4 and a spinner.
Mike Duncan, the 9 car. But anyway, the last segment's going to be 25 laps. If I'm Andy, I'm going to be a little bit worried. No caution yet. Now the caution just now comes out. But if I'm Andy, I'm going to be a little bit worried here because I know I've got to run 25 laps. So, maybe he's playing for the inversion. Maybe he's trying to finish 4th or something like that. He assured us he wasn't going to do that, but maybe he is.
That's what I would say. No, I'm not going to lay back.
Mike Duncan got going again. Andy told us before the cars rolled off, he said he's not going to be too aggressive in these first 100 laps because Andy knows from last night that when he bolts on 4 fresh tires, he's the fastest car here for 25 laps.
Yeah, I think what he's doing right now really is playing odds, and it's pretty smart.
Well, then he lied to me then.
Here comes the 9 of Duncan, slip sliding away.
Just got a little bit too high. It looks like he caught the right rear up in the marbles, and around he went.
That's another car that runs really well out here all the time. It's won races.
Yeah, he won there last time out. There's some speedy dry up there too. Looks like he got in a speedy dry.
Yep.
Got sideways, lost control. Fortunately, didn't hit anything.
Stay there. Turn your wheels to the left. Keep going. Motor running.
That's Bill Sedgwick, who's a former Winston West champ.
Yeah,
He's Duncan spotter.
Bill drove my truck in '96.
And here's Austin Cameron. What a great story. He's been under chemotherapy and had to miss a number of races this year, but he's come back with a vengeance and to be a contender.
Watch this, Mike. He was ready, and there he goes. 1, 2, and
he got a couple more there.
I think he gets a couple of them right here.
He got Ryan and Kelly Moore.
Yeah. He was up. He was ready for. He anticipated. My favorite word in racing: anticipated at restart, and we're getting ready for one now.
39 laps complete. Green flag, and nobody gets a jump on Joey McCarthy.
Mark Reed again looks down the bottom of the racetrack,
and he's coming. Remember when McCarthy would run a few Busch series in that car sponsored by Red or Wreck?
Oh,
and oftentimes that's what his would end up being.
Yeah, I do.
Well, he drifted back into the Busch North Series, and he's found a home here, and he's become a winner.
Yeah.
Andy on the bottom of the racetrack looking under Mark Reed.
He's fishing.
Yeah,
I think he's fishing.
But it's Andy's car, see, he can run the bottom. Yeah. He can run the bottom better than anybody I've seen all weekend. And you know, Phil, if you can run the bottom on any racetrack, that's the shortest and the fastest.
Absolutely. And he's able to get back in the throttle in the center of the corner, Darrell, where a lot of these guys, they go to the bottom. It's almost a sucker bet. They go to the bottom, they try to get in the throttle, they spin the wheels and lose ground. Andy can get in the throttle and stay there.
Yeah, and the thing that really makes it work for him is he's not pushing. He's pretty free up off the corner, and that allows him to stay underneath the guy without having to lift.
All right. Santera is the 6, Reed is the 3, McCarthy the leader in the white 22. Right?
Hey, Mike, just wanted to update the chassis for you for Andy Santera. It's a drop snout car, but they call it Faith. It's named after Faith Hill. It has 3 victories this season at Lee, Lake Erie, and Beech Ridge. Andy said, I wouldn't come here with any other car. We got to have faith.
Well, he's wheeled it up into second, and now he goes after McCarthy for the lead. So old Andy, I'm going to take it easy in the first 100 laps, is trying to lead him.
Yeah, I think he was just letting it kind of come to him because he knows he's got the best car here tonight, and no need taking any chances.
Andy is such a good short track racer anyway, but does a great job on speedways too. Won a big Busch race at Pikes Peak a few years ago.
You know what makes him good, Phil, is that he has to work on that car. He and Sue, they own it together, you know, and Andy does a lot of the work on the car, and so he's going to drive it a little more cautious. He's not going to drive it like he stole it. He's going to drive it like he owns it.
You know, at least he's got Joe Bessie with him now as the owner. Last year, Andy owned his own car, drove the hauler up to New England to race, won the championship. He and Joe Bessie joined forces, done a terrific job this year. And I said, hey, he said, I've got a life now. I've got some help. I've got a few guys that help me. And what a terrific season he had.
Yes, I'd forgotten about that. I was thinking about it last year when they were running their own team, and I forgot about him and Joe getting hooked up.
Yeah, last year he was the team's only employee.
Yeah.
And had to write his own paycheck. Hey, third place, Ryan Moore is on the bottom in that 74. He's got Brian Chu in the 09, and they're trying to get past Mark Reed. Ray.
Hey, Mike, earlier you were talking about Martin Truex Jr. having such a good day today at Rockingham. Well, he won a couple of races in Busch North last year, and it was in the exact same car that's out there on the racetrack right now that Brian Chu is driving. The chassis is called Gertie. It's been to victory lane a number of times, and so far tonight, Brian Chu says it's pretty good. Hey, Darrell, were you here last night?
No, I wasn't, Ray. The folks over at the Toyota booth were telling me about the great racing they had here last night.
Well, since you missed the show last night, I just wondered if you knew what Brian Chu's nickname was.
Oh, no. Here we go again.
Oh, is it Fu Man?
No, they call him A-H.
Oh.
I like Fu Man.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, thank you. But that's quite a stretch between what was Faith and what was his car's name? Gertie?
Gertie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe we got the same joke 2 nights in a row, but we're going to Dick Burton.
Yeah, but it was a good joke. It's worth repeating, Mike.
Okay.
Youngster Ryan Moore, car number 74, has motored his way into the 3rd position. Just talked to his crew chief, Rolly LaChance. Said the only thing that car needs is about a 1/4 of an inch more forward bite, and they're going to be able to pick up 2 more spots, and that would put him in the lead.
It's a talented kid right there, Darrell. 20 years old, just turned 20 years old a couple months ago. Did a great job on the Busch North Series this year.
Yeah. I said to him this afternoon, I said, you had a great night last night. He says, you know, we were pretty good. Oh, gosh.
I've never seen a driver yet that was happy.
Youthful optimism.
That's right. We can do better.
See a little puff of smoke out of Ryan's car in the center of the corner. Looks like right when he gets back in the throttle, just a little tiny wisp of smoke there.
And if we see it, you know Buzz Chew sees it. Look at this gaggle. Ooh, ooh. Brian Hoare on the bottom. Borneman is the meat in the sandwich, and that's Eddie McDonald up top as they chase the 77 of Steve Portengay. Now this is back at about 9th place.
You wouldn't know it though.
No.
Like it's for the lead. But look at that. I mean, I haven't been to a short track where you can run 3 wide side by side like that, and everybody's got a line, everybody's got a place to go. Look at that.
It's the perfect half mile.
It is.
Here at Irwindale. It really is.
It's amazing how well thought out. Look at the brake rotor on that 45 car glowing red, but a well thought out short track. The progressive banking like we're going to see next week at Homestead, Florida. So that'll be interesting to see on a high-speed racetrack with a progressive banking.
Yeah, I was talking to the guys out here that own the track, and they said that they had talked to NASCAR about how they built this racetrack.
Andy Santerre can get up to Joey McCarthy in the 22, but now lap traffic puts Santerre back in line in 2nd place.
Remember, much just like the first race, we've got some teams going here. That's the Busch North guys against the Winston West guys for $30,000. They will share $30,000 evenly if whoever wins.
Turn 2. Yep. Borneman. Bye-bye. Oh, and Kovaluk.
They've been trying to wreck each other for 5 laps. They finally made it.
Now, John Borneman is a Winston West driver. His crew chief, Kevin Cram, is from Massachusetts, now lives in Mooresville, and flies out to each race to help the Bornemans. And they pulled an all-nighter Thursday night after John wrecked in practice, and they had to put it all back together. So caution is out at 59 laps in our Grand National Division feature event. Welcome back to Irwindale, California. Mike Johnson, Busch North driver, makes a pit stop as we work this caution period at lap 62. And we'll show you what happened to put us under caution to John Borneman.
I mean, this was brewing. We were watching this, and the 8 car was just
all over Eddie McDonald.
Yeah, he was just using him up.
Great save by Eddie McDonald, though, on the outside.
Really yeah, the theory didn't prevail there that 8 tires are better than 4.
Right.
All right, all clear. Caution down. Caution.
One of the Monaco Enterprises car, Kevin Richards, another nice job of avoiding being part of somebody else's problem. Dick Bergman?
Well, what a strange weekend Johnny Borneman has had. He was the fastest car in the very first practice session here, wrecked in the 2nd practice session. Crew pulled an all-nighter, running pretty decent here, just came in to look at the car, and they pulled this out of Borneman's grill. Who's running a purple car, Mike?
Eddie McDonald, I think. Might be.
He's missing a few parts.
They got all winter to find him.
That's right. We don't need this car anymore till next year.
Lap car of Mark Durgan moving up on the inside. 19 car.
Pit stop also for Scott Gaylord. And we're going to go green. 63 complete. Remember, mandatory pit stop and caution at lap 100.
You know, you're talking about Joe Bessie in that 6 car, Andy Santerre driving. How many races? I mean, Joe always had a fast race car.
Yep.
Everywhere he went, particularly at Dover. I remember he always ran well at Dover.
Won a big Busch race at Dover.
Did.
Sure did.
And I think owning your own car, I mean, it pays off when you do get an opportunity to drive for somebody else. I tell you, you're a lot better driver, I think, because you know how much it costs to repair the things, and you know how much work goes into building one of them.
When you had to write those checks, it really gives you an appreciation and had to do a lot of the work yourself too. You know, you think nothing of knocking a side off, but there's a lot of labor that goes into repairing that side, not to mention money.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to, you pick your fights.
Ryan Moore is picking one right now with Andy Santerre. That's Moore, the rookie in the 74.
Car looks good, and he's got that kind of bottom deal figured out too. He's able to hook it around there pretty well.
You know, all these guys started this race on sticker tires, Darrell. So, and these are bias ply tires. Now, they're not radial, so they grow and stagger is so much more critical on these bias ply tires. So, Andy may not have gotten a set of tires that he really likes to stagger on.
Yeah, he might be saving his good set for that shootout.
Listening to Andy's spotter and T-shirt maker, Dale Averill.
Inside, clear inside.
Andy goes right back to the bottom after McCarthy once again.
Looks like his car is tightened up a little bit, Phil. He's starting to push up off the corner a little bit. It's hurting him getting underneath the leader there.
Now the Busch North drivers have the front 4 spots, but look who's moved up to 5th, Austin Cameron.
Yeah, you know, that car's got to get up there and get in the mix. That car's way too good, and I've seen it run here a lot. You do a lot of these races, don't you, Phil?
I do, yeah.
On the Speed Channel and Fox Sports.
You got to see a lot of these races here. Had a great time doing it. A lot of Busch North races also in the Racing Across America that we had on Speed Channel.
It's a good little battle up here in the front, guys.
Yep, and here's Cameron, who's about to join it, Ray.
Hey, Mike, this is chassis number 12, and Austin used this exact same car to win at Stockton and Roseburg earlier this year. Of course, he didn't run all the races this year, so he was only 15th in points. But before this race started tonight, he told me they made more changes on this car tonight.
Trouble.
Oh, we got a crash in turn 3, guys.
Turn 2, and it's a big one.
Yeah, it is.
3 cars, Mike Johnson, the 96, the 27. That's Bobby Hillis. And I can't tell who the
86.
car is that has the numbers ripped off the side.
Or 96 it is.
Mike Johnson there. Kerry Heath was also involved in the 12 car.
Yeah, it's the 85. Kevin, is it? No.
Jack Sellers in the 15 car. That's right. A whole lot of damage to Mike Johnson's car.
Oh.
Jack Sellers, now, that's a name that I can remember from way back when. He's been around a while.
See if we can take a look at what happened to cause this 3 or 4 car incident here. See Johnny Borneman on the inside of Bobby Hillis in the 27 car, makes some contact.
Man,
that'll clog the top groove.
Yep. As we talked earlier, everybody runs on the outside of the racetrack, and there they were. Kerry Heath came along first, then Mike Johnson.
I think Borneman's on his 3rd strike.
Yeah, and here's Kerry in the 12 with no place to go. The young lady from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Oh,
hard hit.
She hits and gets hit by Mike Johnson really hard.
You know, at Stockton Speedway a few weeks ago, there was a lot of controversy. Johnny Borneman knocked somebody out of the way to pass him. Then they spun him out on the next corner. Then as he came back through the field, he pretty much knocked about everybody out of the way, got to about 5th, and there was a lot of controversy. Mark Reed was running down the backstretch looking for Johnny Borneman on foot till he ran out of air, and so there was a lot of controversy. But Johnny Borneman had a great run at Mesa Marin last time out, finished 5th. Good competitor, but he made a little contact there.
Mike Johnson is okay. We saw him moving around in the car. He'll be out shortly. Here's Ray. There he is. There's Mike is out. Ray?
Hey, Mike, that thing has really been brewing for 4 or 5 laps. Borneman and Mike Johnson had gone back and forth with a little shoving match out there, so kind of saw that one coming. But they may not have to worry about racing against him next year because he's very, very close to finishing up a deal which would take him to the Busch Series full-time next year. And he said, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to jinx the thing. But they said they should know by the middle of this next week whether the deal is done. And believe me, it's with a very, very good team. He would be a team car to a team that has won a few races this year in the Busch Series.
I'm sorry, Ray, did you mean Borneman or Johnson?
Borneman.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, you can look at his car and tell he's a very aggressive driver. They beat that thing on pieces.
And Mike Johnson's Jack Roush Ford, or Ford they bought from Jack Roush, and they have Roush power, and have won a race this year. And it looks like he's going to go up on the hook. We'll be right back. Still under caution in the Grand National 125 as the remains of Mike Johnson's car hauled to the infield. Mike is okay.
And he just ripped the skin right off of that baby.
Boy, it looks like tin foil there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think what that is inside of his door, where he's got some kind of heat, maybe shield, or no, you know, Maybe they run aluminum. I don't know. Who knows?
That's supposed to run aluminum anyway.
No. Maybe it didn't mean for him to see that.
Kevin Richards in the giant RV Chevy. He is our close calls car of the night. And let's show you why.
And that would be because you're tight.
Because when he made contact with David Esselman, just avoided this crash here. Oh, that was Scott Lynch earlier.
Stay high, stay high.
Now this is there's Johnny Borneman when he spun. He avoided him.
He's just trying to show y'all that you put that camera in the right car.
Absolutely.
Told you I'd give you some good shots.
Nice job by his spotter, David Hamstra.
You're gonna be going green.
We're going to go green next time. Dick Bergman.
Lappers. Getting a bunch of them now. Hands up.
With Mike Johnson, who's just stepped out of the ambulance. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just wreck in front of me. Couldn't get sold up in time. Track's a little greasy. It's too bad that Johnson Lumber, IUGame.com, just couldn't get it out of that wreck. Long ways out here. Just want to thank everybody for getting us here, and we'll be seeing everyone back home.
Okay, neighbor. Going green.
Lap cars on the inside for the restart. Gives McCartney clear sailing, and Santerre goes right to the bottom. Ryan Moore covers the spot up top.
I really think that Andy's car is a little, it's tightened up quite a bit, Phil. Looks like from about right where it is now, off to the corner there, he can't keep it on the bottom like he could earlier.
He rolls through the center good, but then it almost like the late center, he develops that push and cannot get back to the throttle.
Outside. Clear outside.
Ryan Moore makes the pass on the outside in the 74 car.
What a rookie season he has had.
Outside. Come on now.
See, when Andy can keep it down there and get back in the throttle, he can run right up alongside these cats. But he's got an issue here that he may have to work on at the brakes.
He's really good into the center, but that's the late center and off that he's getting beat right now. But he's got a little more heat in the tires now. We've run a couple laps since the caution flag.
And here comes Austin Cameron trying to bust the Busch North stranglehold on the front four spots.
Well, I'm glad to see Austin get up there. It's good to have all divisions well represented.
Talked to several of the Winston West guys in the garage here, and they were really a little bit embarrassed that these Busch North guys came out here to their racetrack and did as well as they did last night. So they're looking for a little redemption.
Here's Ray.
Hey, Mike, what Austin said on the radio a few minutes ago to his crew chief, Doug George, is, I'm really worried about how the 6 car can go down and go so low on those restarts. When we have these final 25 laps, I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to do because I'm just a little bit too tight to run on the bottom. So I expect them to make some chassis changes to see if there's any way he can go to the low groove for the big shootout.
I don't think it's hard for me to figure out what Andy's doing. I'm almost convinced that he's trying to position himself for the shootout.
Trying to finish fourth or something like that.
I mean, I get that feeling watching him work his car.
Well, he gives up a spot to Brian Chu. So he's not just down there fishing, trying to see if the car will run down there, because he's given away a spot or two.
Well, we've had that, we've already had a 100-lap race here tonight with the other division. They were on Hoosier tires, and as we saw in that race, they were all over the place. So maybe they've used up his groove.
Dick Bergman.
Well, Ryan Moore's dad is Kelly Moore, driving car number 47, and Kelly Moore's crew chief, Jamie Lafano, just came down to Ryan Moore's pit, where he talked to Ryan's crew chief, Rolly LaChance. Got that all figured out? The conversation was all about fuel and how they are going to service both these cars in the break. Kelly has got the majority of the crew, and Ryan just doesn't have enough guys here, so they're trying to figure out how are they going to distribute the various crews to make sure both cars get properly fueled, properly cared for in that brief 10-minute pit stop.
The Moores are running second, Ryan, and 8th, Kelly. Long way here from Scarborough, Maine. 3 wide for 3rd place. That didn't work.
Yeah, now, as a rookie, he's kind of poking it in there right now. And he's got a good race car, and he's just kind of figure out how to get around this cat without running into him.
Darrell, as good a car as Ryan Moore has, if he just needs tires and fuel, I think you and Mike and I could go down there and do that service in 10 minutes, don't you think?
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I don't know if I'd put any fuel in it. Maybe you have to, but if I could make it, I wouldn't put any fuel in it.
10 laps to go to the mandatory caution.
I don't know. Is it just me, or when there's 10 laps to go in any race, my heart rate picks up. How about yours? It just seems like the guys on the track, the intensity just really goes up a notch.
It sure did in that last race. We had them 3 wide for 20th in the last couple of laps before the break.
I think it would, Darrell, but this is 10 minutes, 10 laps to a break where they're going to spin a wheel and invert the field. So, I mean, maybe my heart rate would be going up trying to finish 4th or 6th or something like that.
3rd place side by side. Santerre and Chu. With Cameron looking on.
Ray asked me earlier if I would race for 4th or something like that. I said I was never that smart. Now, you were a smart race car driver. You probably would do that.
I played the odds. I just want to know what part of this race pays the most money. That's all I want to know.
That'll be lap 125.
And I like what Andy's doing because he knows. I mean, he's the only guy running down there where he is. And he knows if he comes in at that break and makes the right changes, he's out of here.
Now Cameron is trying the same line as Santerre.
Well, he's been trying the high line, and it just doesn't seem to be working for him. Cameron.
That's a terrific story on Austin Cameron. You aware of that story?
Yeah, they're having the cancer.
Yeah, battling non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Still undergoing treatment right now. Had a chemotherapy treatment earlier this week, but doing a great job. Said he felt terrific and has a pretty good race car here.
Yeah, you know, another guy that maybe y'all knew this and I didn't because I don't work all the race second half of the year, but Ted Musgrave.
Yes.
That took me by surprise.
Just announced this week that he has been battling cancer and been having treatments. And he's the runner-up in the Truck Series and has a chance to win it all. Things are heating up here with 4 laps to go before the break. Quarterly and Boardman have gotten together, and that's 2 hard heads going into the same piece of real estate.
That time, 8 tires were better than 4.
That was almost
and the 8 car prevailed.
Good side-by-side for 4th. Andy Santerre, 6 car on the inside. Austin Cameron, 16 car Napa Chevrolet on the outside.
Outside, 3 lap cars coming up there.
2 to go. They will not catch those lap cars before the caution. Doesn't look like.
I'm going to tell you, regardless of what happens after this break, I've been really impressed with Joey McCarthy. What a terrific job. As you mentioned earlier, had some pretty unsuccessful Busch starts over the last few years, but got with his team, got good equipment, and has done a terrific job. Won a race this year on the Busch North Series and leading probably the biggest race he's ever run.
Yeah, I was telling Mike earlier, Bill, I don't know if you ever rented the Oxford 250 or not, but this kind of has that feel to it to me. The race he used to have up there at Bob Bear's track.
I went up there one time.
Yeah, I did too, one time. I went looking for a beaver and found a dragon.
That'd be Harmon Beaver Dragon.
That's right.
100 laps on the board. Caution flag waves.
There's our leader right there, Joey McCarthy.
So it's McCarthy, Ryan Moore, Brian Chu, Andy Santerre, Austin Cameron, Mark Reed. They will get 10 minutes.
Now, what are you going to say if they say if they spin and it's 4?
That's pretty good down the bottom. I don't know.
Then I'm going to say Andy Santerre was pretty smart.
He's a pretty smart cat, wasn't he?
And he lied to me because he said he was going to try to win everything here.
Yeah.
Same thing though, but just
well, you know, circumstances always. You know how drivers they got to adjust. You know, didn't work out that way.
I'm so scared to put tires on because they change so much that I'm almost thinking.
That's interesting.
What's your opinion?
Andy Santerre's team talking about they dare put tires in.
Maybe not changing tires.
Wow.
What do our times look like from the first to last? I couldn't be honest with you to tell you. I don't know what the times were. I mean, you guys are all running like the same speed right there at the end.
Now this is Austin Cameron's team debating tire choice.
Sounded like Doug George there. Yeah.
Yes, I think Santerre will go for stickers.
Yeah, he told me earlier that.
No big difference, Austin. We're all right there together.
That's owner Bill McAnally right there talking, Austin.
But, my times compared to the beginning to the end.
Yeah, everybody slowed down probably about 3/10.
Can't give that up.
A lot of different strategies at play out here.
Regardless, I want to jack it up. I want to measure stagger. First thing, no fuel, no nothing. That's the first thing I want to do. I want to inspect the right front tire, get a flashlight. Here I come, boys.
I just can't imagine you wouldn't put tires
Put it up
on.
on jack stands.
That you wouldn't?
I got to take tires.
I think you're
We have
right.
short stands.
I'll tell you what, we'll take a pit stop. We'll figure it all out when we come back.
And I'll let you know what I see.
25 laps to go. Welcome back to the half-mile super speedway of California. In a minute, we're going to go trackside and see how many of these cars are inverted, but first, here's Ray.
Mike, I told you earlier that Joey McCarthy had won at Holland. That's a 3/8 mile speedway. Joey, looks like this is a different car, but it looks like it's just as good tonight.
Well, I don't think we're the fastest car out there right now, but this trust company, Bank Chevrolet, has been running real consistent. I can run real consistent lap times. Unfortunately, I'm going to lose my clear track now with them inverting the field, so it's going to be a whole different ball game, but we'll do the best we can. Hopefully we'll bring it home up front.
Tell me about the race so far. What's it been like out there?
Well, it looks like it's been pretty rough. Some of these accidents are pretty hard, so I don't think guys are being too nice to each other back there. I was just glad I was where I was, and the 100-lap mark came along real nice with all that lap traffic in front of me.
Okay, that's Joey McCarthy, who's led a lot of this race. Now let's go to Dick.
With youngster Ryan Moore, the Rookie of the Year from the Busch North Series, currently running in second position. Best finish ever in the series, third twice. You're looking like a potential winner tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, the car's going real good. We haven't been that good since we got here this weekend. The guys just dug real hard. You know, just kept getting better and better and making little adjustments and just getting closer and closer. And, you know, this RC Moore Napa Bill Dog Chevy, you know, way out on the East Coast from Maine. It's a long haul, but we got it going tonight. I don't think we're going to make much adjustments. We're going to put on 4 tires, and we're going to see what we can go do. You know, it's been a lot of fun all weekend. This, you know, NASCAR and Irwindale Speedway, and you guys can speed. It's just been real cool, real good time. You know, it's been a lot of fun to come and no pressure, no points. Just come here and race and do it like it's supposed to be done. You know, we're going to see what we can do. I haven't been racing a lot of years, but this is the first season I've ever raced and not won one, so I'm pretty hungry.
How about those brakes? I heard you talking just before you came in. You were worried about your brakes.
Yeah, you know, I'm really getting everything I can out of this car, and I'm using the brakes up pretty hard, and I'm getting them pretty hot. Just want to take some precaution, you know, I don't want to go out there and lose the brakes. Just, you know, try to get them cooled down a little bit and put some tires on it and go see what we can do with 25 laps.
You can see the anxiety in this young man's voice. He really, really wants to win his first, and what a big night it would be if he could win here.
I think in about a year or so, Darrell, we're going to see him down south.
I think you're right.
Boy, he's got some talent. Miss Irwindale Speedway will spin the wheel when we come back. Welcome back to Irwindale. We're close to Hollywood. Let's have a game show. How many drivers will be inverted for the final 25 laps tonight?
All right, Lana, are you ready to see how many we're going to invert? It's either 4, 6, or 8. Give that wheel a spin.
Don't you just love showbiz?
I do. This is breathtaking. Oh, and it's a free
6. We're going to invert 6 tonight. Way to go, Lana. Appreciate it. We'll get them ready to go.
Thank you, Pat.
Well, see, Santerre should have let the 16 by there, and he'd be starting on the front row.
That's right. Mark Reed will be the lucky dog, or whatever you call it.
And here's Ray.
Thank you, Mike. Let's find out about Andy Santerre's car. It was a little loose. What'd you guys do here on the break?
Well, we got this 10 minutes, so we tried a front sway bar change. We don't know what it's going to do, but it should help us out. We went up on the bar and a little loose off the corner.
Were you racing for a good spot in the inversion?
I didn't hear you, Ray.
Were you racing for a good spot in the inversion?
I was racing for the win, but I couldn't get it, so it looks like we're going to be starting third.
Okay, good luck in the second half, Dick.
Austin Cameron also benefits from the inversion. How are you? How's the car?
I'm doing great, and the car's doing great. Napa Belts and Hose, Napa Auto Parts, thank you so much, baby. We're going to the front.
All right, go get him, man.
He is the highest placed of the Winston West drivers in these first 100 laps. We've got 25 to go.
He'll actually start outside of Mark Reed, though, because of the inversion. So we'll have 2 Winston West guys on the front row after the Busch North guys have dominated this entire weekend.
Strange turn of events. And the bonus money. The Busch North Series prevails. They scored more points at lap 100 than the Winston West drivers. So that's 2,000 per Busch North team and 1,000 to each Winston West team from the bonus.
No teammates, though, after this. This is 25 laps, every man for themselves.
Someone will be able to eat a little better tonight. Feed the crew.
Buy some tires.
Pay for a tire bill.
Well, who do you like, Darrell?
I got to go with Andy. I'm going to give him a benefit of the doubt that the changes he made and as good as his car was, that he can pull it off.
There's the way they'll line up through the top 10, dominated by Busch North drivers. But Phil, as you said, the front row, the home team.
Yep. Fu Man's up there. I was noticing Austin Cameron when we were doing the interview there. That's probably the first totally white helmet I've seen anybody have on in a long, long time.
Yeah.
It didn't have anything on it, any stickers, any trick paint jobs.
Brand new helmet.
Brand new helmet. It's got to be, because it didn't have anything on it.
You know, it's the end of the season, and the you know, the stuff you used all went to charity and auction giveaways and things like that.
A little chrome would have been nice.
Next year.
Get that thing chromed. It looks good.
With some flames.
How about chrome flames?
That's it, baby.
I haven't seen that lately.
That's it. California is famous for flames.
There's that stark white helmet.
Yeah, and it's got to be brand new. Do you know that, or you just?
That is true. Yes, it is. Yeah, Austin was actually looking for another face shield for tonight because he didn't have one. He got one with a dark smoke lens, and he said, "I don't think that'll work at night."
You know, between me observing and your knowledge, we're pretty darn good.
Going to be a great 25 laps. So there's Andy's ride-along program.
Still smiling.
Yeah.
All right, it's going to take just a minute here to line up the field for our second and final double file restart of the night. 25 laps to go. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back. Getting set for the restart. 25 laps to go. Mark Reed on the pole for the restart. Here's Dick.
I talked to Mark Reed during the break, Mike, and I asked him what he was going to do to the car. They said they loosened it up just a little bit. He said the car likes it in the middle. And I asked him if he deliberately finished 6th, counting on the inversion. He said, nah, he didn't have any of that kind of insight. But I'm sure he's delighted to be starting this second segment where he is on the pole. Mark Reed, car 3 from Bakersfield, California, will start on the pole.
And there's something about a 3-car on the pole in a 25-lap shootout.
And it's black.
And it's black.
Mostly black, anyway.
But next to him, Austin Cameron has the preferred lane.
Yeah, I got a feeling we're going to see some rubbing going into turn 1.
If they're not 4 wide, I'll be surprised.
I figure 3 is a lot.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the over-under is 3 on the turn 1.
I know you're going to have to go down and present the trophy, but boy, it's been fun having you up here.
Oh, it's really, I've had a great time out here. I'm so glad I came, and it's been a great weekend for the Toyota folks. I want to thank them for what they've done for this event. This is great.
All right, double file restart to finish this off. 25 laps. Reed, Cameron, Santerre, Chu, Moore, McCarthy.
There goes Andy on the bottom.
And it's 3 wide. And it's Cameron with the lead. Oh, sideways, Ryan Moore. Couldn't save it. Keeps it out of traffic, grabs a gear, gets going.
He needs to stay right there. He needs to stay there so they throw the caution flag.
He got going. If he'd stayed there, they said that if you draw the caution, we're going to penalize you a lap. Yeah. So he got going. Darrell's going to get going to victory lane. We'll see him next there. For the lead. 3 wide again. Santerre stuck it all the way down there. But couldn't get off the corner.
Side by side, Mark Reed on the bottom, Austin Cameron on the top. $25,000 to the winner at the end of this thing.
You gotta love this. 3 wide in the front, 3 wide in the middle, 3 wide in the back.
What a great move by Mike Olson, the yellow car there.
The little trees car for Olson. Santerre again to the bottom, 3 wide for second place.
Look at Brian Chu on the outside. 4-way battle for the lead.
This is as good as it gets.
And he's going to keep working the bottom of the racetrack there. Little contact. Mark Reed, Brian Chu.
That's Cameron's spotter.
I don't know if it's all clear or not.
Look how close this is, lap after lap.
Look at the right side of Mark Reed's car. It's where he made contact with Brian Chu, the yellow car right behind them.
Reed likes his car right in the middle of the racetrack. Oh, he got a good launch off turn 2 that time.
Whoa, contact. Good save by Andy.
Yeah, but he got way down on the bottom of the racetrack. Hope he didn't pick up a lot of junk on his tires.
Lost third position.
Turn two. Dale Quarterly and Steve Portengay got together. And we're under yellow.
It's going to be a big break for Ryan Moore, though. He's not going to have much time. Remember, caution laps do not count.
A little too tight. Shouldn't have changed that bar.
Now that you heard Andy Santerre shouldn't have changed the bar.
A little bit too tight, he said.
And something under the right front of Dale Quarterly's car is ablaze. See what happened between Quarterly and Portengay.
So just remember that.
It happened off of turn number 2.
Anyway. He drove down.
See if we can take a look. There's Jim Engelbright on the bottom of the racetrack. Makes contact with Steve Portengay. Got loose. See Dale Quarterly right in the middle, had nowhere to go. Brett Thompson moved up the racetrack. Had absolutely nowhere to go. Steve Portengay got her turned around, headed in the right direction. Did not lose a lap.
Here's what Mike Duncan saw.
You're clear. Come on. No caution yet. Come on. Keep coming. Yellow's out. Back down.
Good job by Bill Sedgwick to get Mike Duncan through there.
And now in turn 2, Johnny Boordeman's car is throwing as many sparks up as is Quarterly's. What happened to Boordeman?
There, left front tire, flat left front tire on Johnny Boordeman.
He will pit along with the 77 of Portengay.
These fellows are allowed to change a flat tire if it's down on the wheel or damaged.